Hey, what's going on, you guys? Yeah, it's like I must have
audio trouble.
I must have run into it like when I got up or something like that because it's right there, so it's like right where my head goes. Like when I get up, you know what I mean? So I'm probably always knocking it out of the way without realizing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Zach's in here. He's gonna scratch my nuts with a knotted rope.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to do from far away.
You gotta get that shit on video. You gotta make money with that shit. Hell yeah.
Yeah, when you
Put
come
that
down
up on
and
my
visit.
Fansly.
Yeah, well,
That'll be my first video.
that'll be your first video. You still have that account?
Yeah, I got the Fansly account.
Yeah, but
I
like,
never put anything on
You
it.
haven't put anything on there.
I never put anything on it. No, I gotta put something on it.
Yeah. That's like really funny.
The only way to make money with that shit is you gotta fucking post shit religiously, and you gotta constantly be fucking pumping the fucking.
Yeah, like I said, it's work, just
It's
like
work,
everything
man.
else. It's not like you can just put up a couple of videos and the money will pour in.
Yeah, no, that's why those fucking bitches are constantly posting on X all the time, just constantly flooding the stream with pictures.
Yeah, they're like,
because that's the only way
money.
the only way they can get any traffic.
Well, because like you said, there's so much competition.
There's so much competition, yeah.
So you really have to kind of hustle to get the fucking.
And the
shit
market's
out there.
totally flooded.
Yeah, I mean,
Totally
you know, it's really hard to stand out, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So unless you're doing something really freaky,
like 10 girls are making all the money.
Yeah.
Like 10 of them, literally.
Yeah. Like I said, I always thought it's just better to like find a weird niche that not a lot of people are in.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to do like general audience, there's just no way. There's no way that you're gonna stand out.
No, you could be pretty as fuck. You could be a 9 and they wouldn't notice you.
Well, I mean, there's a lot.
Because there's a lot of them.
I mean, most of them are pretty.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? There's a lot of those. So you got to have something else going on. Like I said, you got to do shit that other people won't do, or cater to some weird fetish or something like that no one else is doing.
The one that Bill was talking about, he says the unserved market is just the hand job thing. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, the disinterested hand job. This is, what are you talking about? That
would be a great band name.
Disinterested.
Hi, we're disinterested hand job.
And he goes, that's a video where you got a guy and he's just sitting there getting a hand job, and it's like a woman is doing it for him, but she's not even interested. She's watching the TV.
She's just like, whatever.
Yeah, she's like bored. She's just smoking and watching it and talking on the phone to somebody else. And she's like, and I was like, I didn't know about that. He goes, yeah, it's an unserved market.
Really?
That's what he said, yeah.
I wonder what the appeal of that is.
It's a fetish.
I know, but I don't know.
Domination?
I mean, I guess I can kind of see it.
Yeah, being
I guess it's along that spectrum, I suppose.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, when you told me that too, I'm like, oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be easy to do.
Yeah, that'd be super easy.
Yep, you don't even have to change camera angle.
Yeah, you can just sit there and go.
You could run a couple cameras and then just fucking edit the angles in.
Yeah. That's just really funny. I never would have occurred to me.
Yeah.
That. I mean, yeah, there's lots of hand job videos, but I wouldn't have thought that, like, disinterested hand job was, like, a whole subset.
That's a subset.
And I'm just like, oh, okay. But I guess it makes sense, like, when you think about it.
And, like, he just said you could do it with, like, an older woman who's doing it. She's, like, got glasses and smoking and talking on the phone.
There you
go.
I'll be over there you go, honey.
You know, I know, with that motherfucker. Oh, he's going to pay me. I'll tell you, I worked 45 hours that week. You know, all kind of shit. And I'm just super mundane, and the dude's fucking losing it, you know.
Where's my beer?
Yeah, where's my beer? She's calling the dog over.
Not gonna lie, I'd probably watch that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know how arousing it is, but it would be pretty funny.
Yeah. It's arousing for somebody.
Well, obviously, or they wouldn't have it, but, you know.
That's a thing. So, we know what today is. Today is Friday. We call this our Sidetracks night, which is our Sidetracks show is basically an open lines show. And anything you guys want to talk about today, we'll fucking talk about it. If you have any questions about prior cases or cases that are going on now, maybe crime, true crime shit or paranormal shit, anything that's happening in the news right now, you can ask us about that. If we don't know about it, we'll look into it. And, you know, it's Friday. Fucking work week is over for most people. You can go ahead and get you a glass of some kind of booze. And let's have a drink for a few hours. And then tomorrow we're going to go out. But we're not going out today.
Yeah, not going out today. We're going out
tomorrow. Cranberry, watermelon, and vodka.
I didn't even know that cranberry and watermelon was a thing that went together.
Watermelon doesn't have much of a flavor. I can kind of taste it.
That's true, but...
Yeah, it's kind of subtle flavor. It's not very sweet.
It's pretty good, though.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's like cranberry.
Tom just went to the store to get mixers, and he was just like, look what I got. I'm like, I've never heard of that. I think he got plain cranberry, too, because, vodka and cranberry. Plus, it's, good for your...
Zach was talking about...
Good for your urinary health.
The rope, what he's talking about, that was like from fucking Casino Royale.
Casino Royale,
yeah. That's right. That's right, yeah. I forgot about that.
CB said, Tom, you should get the head tattoo that Bam Bam Bigelow had.
I don't know who that is.
And then Papa77 said, Tom isn't into WWE, so I guess that's what that is. Yeah, I don't know what that is either. CB also said it took 6 minutes for Fetish Talk to start. I'm in. Yeah, I mean, you know how we do.
Zach wants to know what's going to happen to all these OnlyFans girls. How are they going to explain it when they're in their old age? They're not.
Nah.
That shit's been going on forever. People think it's new. It's not. There was fucking porn been made forever, and those women got old. They were making shit in the 30s and 40s. They could make it.
Yeah, I have a whole DVD of that shit.
Yeah, and it just
of 30s porn.
What ends up happening is that as they age, they no longer look like that girl in the video, so people don't recognize them.
Yeah.
So that's eventually what happens.
And I think that probably, back in those days, it wouldn't occur to you that Grandma had done that kind of shit, like in her youth. You know what I mean? She would just probably say, "Oh, I did some crazy things when I was younger," but she probably didn't elaborate.
Well, nowadays, I think a lot of the women that are doing OnlyFans, and the ones that aren't making a whole lot of money, a lot of times they're single moms. They're having trouble making the bills, and they might make an extra $200 a month doing that. But people don't realize that that's $200 that she didn't have. They're usually kind of low income, and that helps her make rent. So she does what she does, Well, if they get big, like a porn star, when they have kids, they tell the kid.
Yeah.
They tell the kid, but they tell the kid not to tell any of their friends at school.
Yeah, because they'll get picked
and they'll just be fucking bagging on them. That's your mom.
Yeah.
See, you'll be surprised when you see those women, especially if it's studio stuff. When you see them in person, you wouldn't recognize them. Most of them, they don't look like that.
Well, yeah.
Without makeup, they don't look like that. They never wouldn't recognize them. A lot of times, they're just unassuming.
And I'm sure that if they just want to go out and not be recognized, as long as you don't put all the stuff on and everything like that. Like, if I probably went out without makeup and wigs and all that kind of stuff, I mean, I don't look that different, but if you only...
You're not going to be recognized for the video
I probably wouldn't be recognized for...
No, but especially not a studio porn star, because they have professional makeup artists that can make them look like anything.
And all kind of shit.
Yeah.
So...
And a lot of them look great with makeup. You look at them without makeup, and she's just like very average.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, makeup can do like a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you know what you're doing. So, because I've seen some amazing transformations. Mm-hmm. But,
We'll go to the restroom.
Zach is talking about the Beach Boys album Smile, which was unfinished. I've heard of that, but you know what? I don't think I've ever sat and listened to it, like, the whole thing. I've heard it's really good, but I haven't listen to it. I like the Beach Boys, okay. Like, my dad likes to listen to them and stuff like that, but I don't know a lot of their stuff. CB says, my mom came to the fetish bar with me, me and my girlfriend, after my girlfriend invited her, and all the guys into feet wanted to suck her toes because of her age. Yeah, it's interesting how a lot of dudes that are into that kind of stuff, like, kind of like the older women, which I thought was kind of interesting. I never would have thought that, but, have you seen the documentary called Life After Porn? I don't think I did. I wanted to watch it, and I think we were going to watch it one night, but then we ended up watching something else. But I don't think I've watched it. But I am interested to see it, though. So I would actually kind of like to see that. Because Tom would probably be into that, too. He's interested in all that kind of, like, he's interested in all the, fetish chicks and girls that are escorts and all that other kind of stuff. And, like, what their life is like and what their life is like after they finish doing it and all this other kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
I'm turning the damn fan on.
Okay.
I can't. I don't care.
I know.
It's hot. It's cold in here. It's not cold. It's 71 degrees. It's not cold.
Temperature is subjective. It wasn't too... It was cold in here earlier.
Yeah.
Because I had my little jacket on. It's always cold in this room. Like, I don't know why. Because it's haunted, probably. Not really. Yeah, Zach says, Brian Wilson and his conservatorship with that evil psychologist he was with would make a real interesting show, I think. I feel so bad for him. Guess he has dementia now. Yeah. I did write that down, like, that maybe we could do a show about that one of these days.
Somebody's asked me if I'd seen the documentary Life After Porn. I think I have.
I thought we were going to watch it, but then we didn't watch it.
Really? Okay. There's a lot of that shit out there. So, you know, I pretty much know the topic anyway. I mean, what happens, it's always a case-by-case basis. Not every one of those people, man or woman, you know, they're in it, are in a different situation. You know, and what they do afterwards is just across the board, you know.
I'd still be interested to see it, though. Mm-hmm. Like, is it on Netflix? I thought it was on Netflix. I haven't looked on Netflix for a really long time now that I think about it. Because I think it signed me out. They break up into a couple
different groups after they get out, like the ones that just disappear and become like normal, maybe like lower working class kind of has-beens. That's the best way I can describe them, you know. What was that one chick's name? Shit, she was a huge star in the fucking 90s. 2000s. Oh man, she had black hair, it was short.
Can't help you.
She looked great. She was actually a lesbian though, and she was dating one of the other porn stars. And you know, she lived the high life for you know a while, but then she just left the industry and she ended up living on her mom's property in just kind of an unassuming house out in the middle of the woods, out in the country. And she was doing stuff online, talking to people, and she'd post pictures and stuff every now and then. But she, you know, she was probably in her mid-50s by then, and she had a drug problem. So you could see it was kind of. She had a drug problem back when she was young, doing that. So it kind of. She looked pretty rough. I mean, she didn't look bad, but she just looked, for her age, for 50, she looked rough.
Yeah.
A 50-year-old woman can be gorgeous if she knows what she's doing. If she's working out, she's taking the right shit, and having the right procedures done.
Didn't do drugs her entire youth.
What's that?
And didn't do drugs her entire youth.
Right, yeah. Lived pretty
that
healthy.
Doesn't help.
Yeah, and just all the other cosmetic type stuff that they do. You know, look at Lauren Lopez, you know, she's probably about 55, 56, and she lives here in Florida. She looks great. You look at her and you go, is that woman 50? You go, yeah, she's older, but most, you know, she's like top 1%. Most older women don't look like that, you know. And, you know, life's hard on the average person.
That's true.
Yeah, and they don't respond to it in a way that bolsters them against it. It's kind of like they just surrender. And they just kind of get fat, and then they just kind of, their shape just kind of, you know, fucking melts away, and they don't care anymore. They don't go anywhere. They're just watching TV or online. And my dad's generation, they just watch TV, you know. And you're starting to see some of the Gen X doing that. They just sit and watch TV. They're living a real sedentary lifestyle. You know, talking about the good old days.
See,
I don't live like that.
I never wanted to be like that, to be honest.
Today is a good old day.
Yeah, I mean, every day can be a good old day.
Yeah.
You know, it's I think it's healthier to be like, yeah, there was cool shit in the past, but there's cool shit now, too. Because I kind of feel like if you're too hung up about how cool shit used to be, like, you don't notice all the cool shit, like, nowadays. Yeah, there's a lot of shitty shit nowadays, but it's like there's a lot of shitty shit back then, too.
Yeah.
It's just like people forgot about it, though, because you're not living through it anymore.
Shitty stuff just vanished. It wasn't around very long.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
But, yeah. Some people just don't make it, you know? So they get struck down by disease fairly early.
Yeah, that happens
we
too.
know them just die, and they're still in their 30s.
Or 20s in
or
a couple,
20s sometimes,
cases.
Yeah. And then other ones,
just bad fucking luck.
Yeah, and then other ones get struck down by something that affects their health. It doesn't kill them, but they just waste away. They're never really going to be the same person again. It's just, life, man. Kind of luck of the draw.
Yeah.
I guess,
I mean, I've been fucking lucky so far, but,
Yeah.
You never know, like, when bad shit's going to happen. You can't...
Yeah. Anybody can get sick at any time.
Yeah, you can't live your whole life worrying about it, but, on the other hand, it can happen. So, you know what I mean?
Diet, workout, hormones and fucking drugs, the right ones.
Or, like I said, accidents.
Positive mental
you could have accidents, too.
Yeah, you can have accidents. Positive mental attitude and fucking staying active and constantly try to stay up on things so you're current. You don't want to be a person who starts falling behind and living in the past. That's, that's sad. Like, my dad lived in the past.
Yeah. A lot of older people do.
Yeah. I mean, every time I talk to him, especially like in his last years, that last fucking 10 years of his life, every time I talk to him, I was like back in 1994.
Yeah.
And he was in 1994 still.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the age of the internet. He didn't really have a phone. He didn't have a phone that had internet on it. He wouldn't know how to use that. He watched television. That's where he got all his information from.
Yeah, they just don't want to keep up with stuff.
Yeah.
Because it just seems too hard.
It was like talking to a time machine.
Yeah.
He believed in a bunch of shit that wasn't true.
Like mermaids.
What's that?
Like mermaids.
Yeah, mermaids. He believed mermaids were real. That was weird.
Because of that mockumentary.
Yeah. I saw it, man. That was on the Discovery Channel, man. I didn't think them things were real, but damn. Yeah. They got the fossils and everything. So what the fuck are you talking about? Mermaids. They had men too. I was like, what? Oh yeah, they were fighting people. So where the fuck did you get this? He goes, it wasn't on. Was it on Discovery? No,
I think it was on Discovery Channel.
I think it was on Discovery.
Because I think they didn't they have like Monster Week several years back?
Yeah, it was on Discovery Channel.
And they made it as like a joke.
So I fucking looked it up what it was talking about. And they played it for Shark Week. We have the internet, so I looked up what he was talking about. It was for Shark Week. They back in the 2000s, they had a mockumentary for like about fucking mermaids, and it was wild. It did kind of like on the surface sound like.
I mean, they did a good job.
Yeah, like maybe it was real.
But our cynical asses knew.
I had to call him. I says, "No, man, that was a mockumentary." He goes, "What the hell is that?" And I said, "No, man, it was a fake documentary." No, it was real. I saw it. And I said, "No, it was a documentary to make you," because they just accepted what they saw.
Yeah.
And he goes, "But they had all them doctors on there, them scientists." I'm trying to do my dad's voice.
Yeah.
And he sounded different as he went through stages of his life. I saw them doctors and them scientists on there. That shit was real. And I said, "No, those are fake. Those are actors, man." Oh yeah,
like that in the cartoon.
Oh yeah, they were actors. Oh, yeah. I thought that one broad was a little too pretty to be a doctor. And I said, "Yeah," because she looked like something off of one of those Asylum movies.
Yeah, probably.
They look like Asylum. She looked like. They had some pretty girls on those movies.
Yeah.
They'll just choose them to just be pretty. Your job is to be hot in this movie.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of suspicious that they looked kind of young. I said, yeah. They're like, all right. It took them a while to accept that there were no mermaids.
Yeah. Zach said, "I keep thinking it'd be funny to invite my dad to come hang out with me and my friends at the gay bar. And then I wonder who'd be more embarrassed if that did happen." I have thought about like taking my mom out with us sometimes. She'd probably be a hoot when
she'd like it
if we got her drunk enough.
Yeah, she'd like it.
That'd probably be really fun.
Yeah,
she had a lot of fun at Disney.
Yeah. She can't walk very far though anymore.
That's true.
Her hips fucked up from that car accident.
From the car accident, yeah.
So she had to go.
She's got like titanium in there.
Fucking things.
Yeah, she can walk like for short distances. Like she walks around her house and stuff. But if you're gonna walk all day, like she needs a scooter.
Yeah.
Zach said Sasha Grey had a crazy story. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about her. Imagine going from porn to having Steven Soderbergh asking you to be in his new movie. She streams games on Twitch now. She was the one, wasn't she in Would You Rather with Jeffrey Combs? That was Sasha Grey, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Because I remember that. Because I like that movie, actually.
I know the name, but I get her confused with a bunch of other ones. I'd have to see her again.
Yeah, she's like a dark-haired, kind of
yeah,
gothy, punk rocky looking.
Yeah.
Papa77 says, Amazon Prime just dropped a movie about Ed Kemper. It was pretty good once you get past the fact the actor playing him isn't tall enough. Well, I mean, there's probably not a lot of actors as tall as him.
Yeah.
So there's that. But I'd probably be interested in seeing that, actually.
Ed Kemper.
Yeah, Ed Kemper. TV's Tom and Jenny watched Diamond Heist is a good documentary, and the story would make a good Wednesday episode. Is it about the Antwerp Diamond Heist? Because I read a book about that several years ago, and it was super, super interesting. And I've been wanting to do a show about that for a long time, and I always put it in the poll, and it never wins. But I'm just like, but it's so interesting. Like, I read a book about it a few years ago. I can't remember what the name of the book was, but it was, like, really, really good. Oracle says, hey, y'all, guess who's going to be an aunt this November? Oh, congratulations. That would be really cool. I'm an aunt also, but I don't see my nephews or nieces all that often.
Want some more ice?
Yeah, all my ice melted. All my ice melted. DVD Dragon said, oops, I lost it. Oh, I guess that's for Tom. I gotta wait till he comes back. He's giving me some ice. Yeah, when is I thought the new season of Wednesday was supposed to be out, like, last year. What happened with that? I thought it was supposed to be out, like, last November or something. And then it never came on. I still haven't watched the end of Cobra Kai, because they did, like, the first half of the season, and then the second half of the season came out, like, way later, and I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot they did that. And then, like, I just never got around to watching the second half, so thank you. Let's see. Yeah, your best days are ahead of you. Yeah, see, I like to think that. You know, because you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Like, some really cool shit could happen. I mean, some really bad shit could happen, too, but it's like, don't think about it that way. You know what I mean? You know, statistically, everyone's going to have bad shit happen to them from time to time, but you know what I mean? You can't really focus on it. Let's see. American Military 100 says, Jen, have you heard of the Chandler Halverson case? Dude dismembered his parents and burned them in their fireplace. That sounds kind of familiar, but I'm going to write that down just in case. Let me see. Chandler Halverson. Yeah, that sounds kind of familiar. And yeah, Oracle says Netflix is in fact splitting up Wednesday season 2 into 2 parts. First release date on August 6th, 2025, and the part 2 date will be September 3rd. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I remember seeing like a teaser for it like a long time ago, and so I was thinking it was like coming out like in fall last year, and then it never did. So, DVD Dragon said Tom was that girl who got arrested on the news for a video of her fucking a dog, the same one you were talking about.
Which one? I didn't hear. That comes up on the news all the fucking time. It does.
It's probably a lot more common than people realize.
I had a girl in Mississippi that got arrested for it.
Yeah.
About 6 months ago, yeah.
Mm.
And I think she was from Laurel.
Really?
Yeah.
They're not going to put that on that hometown show.
She was like, how the hell am I going to make any money? They paid me to do it.
Yeah, this was my whole livelihood.
She's like that, yeah. And she was just laughing about it. She goes, I don't care. Do what you want. Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
She was cute, too. They had her on the news. Yeah, same thing. They were kind of shaming her. But she was just laughing it off. I'm just trying to make money.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you can't shame people that have no shame.
Yeah, they had her in court and shit. She was just smiling. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
She didn't give a fuck.
So that's like kind of like a superpower.
Send me to jail, bitch. She didn't care. She didn't care about going to jail. She'd already been in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she did it before. It was like a second offense.
And she's probably not going to be in there that long for that.
No.
I mean, you know.
No, a couple weeks. Her boyfriend had a job, so he was paying the rent when she was in jail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she had a boyfriend.
So it all worked out?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That was the first offense thing.
Oh, okay. So
he was one filming.
Yeah.
They had a kid and everything, you know. We got to pay these bills. I wasn't really clear whether or not she was selling video or doing it live. I think it was live. That's where people were paying her live to do it.
Yeah. Tetsuo told a joke. Came home from work and found my best friend in bed with my wife. I said, "Bad dog, bad." That was pretty good. John Gora says bestiality films are so 70s. I mean, yeah, but there's still like a lot of it out there.
They're still around.
There's still a lot of it out there. Not that I like seek it out or anything, but
it's out there. They promote it on X. It's just that you can't show it on those platforms. But they always point you to go to Telegram.
Yeah.
So they're out there. They just come at you sideways.
I like the animated monster stuff, which is kind of like bestiality.
If you go into any kind of fetish art stuff, where there's, like she's talking about, fucking animated stuff with fucking, shit from World of Warcraft, elves and fucking orcs having sex.
Yeah, there's a whole sub
vampires
of that.
And werewolves having sex.
Yeah.
Mythological beasts, women having sex with centaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, just shit like that. It's just been around for thousands of years, man. The Romans were into that. Mythological beasts and bestiality and shit. They did it as part of sometimes they did it as religious rites. Because it goes back to like Greek mythology. Greco-Roman mythology has a lot of that in it.
Yeah, they were pretty freaky back then. They're all about the fucking human.
Well, they had done everything else. They did everything else. They just
little
did
jaded.
Yeah.
Wonder how much like Lovecraftian
and there was no
porn
concept of underage too, so children were involved.
Yeah.
Fucking, what was his name? Fucking Emperor. Fucking that damn emperor that had that fucking pleasure palace on the island of Capri. The thing was just staffed with a bunch of little children dressed up as satyrs and fucking nymphs and wood nymphs and shit. And if they displeased him, he'd throw them off a cliff.
The handy cliff that's the whole reason that he had it there.
Yeah, and
so
up on that island
people off the cliff.
Up on that island with them little kids when he was a little kid was Caligula, and he grew up on that little island. He was imprisoned there. What was his name? Uncle Tiberius was his name, Emperor Tiberius, and he was an evil monster himself. Oh, pedo, He killed his own family and imprisoned a lot of his family, including Caligula. He put Caligula up on his pleasure island. Well, when Tiberius died, the throne went to Caligula and his half-brother or cousin, and he made them both in his will, he wanted them to be both co-rulers, and that lasted a couple of months. Caligula killed the other one. And he predicted that it would happen. He's like, I'm giving Rome a pair of vipers. He hated Rome, Tiberius did. But all that fucking twisted sexuality and fucking weird shit and fetish stuff, been around for thousands of years. And the more powerful and the rich you are, I guess the more kinkier you get. And when you're in a culture like fucking ancient Rome, which basically run by a bunch of mafias, it was really, if you actually look at it as mafia shit, you could do anything you wanted to anybody else as long as they were fucking a lower rank than you. That's they did all kinds of fucked up shit. Now, they had some rules where you couldn't enslave a person of the patrician or equestrian class, so you couldn't enslave nobility, but they did it anyway. Fucking, I think Commodus did a lot of that. They busted open his pleasure palace, and there was fucking noble women in there and kids that he'd fucking used them in his pleasure palace that disappeared. Although, it's hard to say. We don't know because they lied about each other a lot too.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
it's like if they didn't like you, they can make up all kind of.
They made up
stories.
But
and thousands of years later, you have no idea of knowing if that really happened.
I guarantee you, weird shit was happening.
Oh, I'm sure.
I guarantee you.
I'm sure it did. Well, when people like that, when you have that much money and that much power, and you can do whatever you want without consequence, I mean, it's just gonna ramp up.
Yeah.
Because you're just gonna get bored with this thing, and so you're gonna need the next so you're just gonna get more and more depraved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just kind of human nature.
Well, if you go on X, you start getting into the channels that fucking, or the tags, the little hashtags that have to do with fetish stuff. There's people on there selling all kinds of materials. And then you have other creators fucking jumping in there from the sidelines selling stuff. And a lot of the fucking beast stuff you're talking about is they're promoting that on fucking, and they have to do it subtly because they can't break any of the rules, you know. And X has a lot of rules, but they point you to Telegram, which isn't as censored. I don't have problems with that. Now, I have not seen any fucking child stuff, which thank God. They're evidently that used to be there, but they cleaned a lot of that up. But it's mostly just pretty much normal shit that you would see, you know, fucking in the fetish realm. That's most of it. Not for us, not real crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see much of anything that shocks me. You know?
Well, most of that shit, like I said, children and shit would fucking upset me. I'd get fucking
upset. Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about that. Right. I'm just talking about, like, consenting adult shit.
The thing that... There's only one thing that disgusts me, and that's all that scat shit.
Yeah, I can't watch that.
As soon as I see it, I was like, oh, man. And I think most people feel that way because you have to look for that.
Yeah.
They tend not to just drop... Every now and then, somebody will drop a photograph of that in there, you know what I mean? And try to fucking bait you into fucking going to another place. Look at it. But they're fishing for them dudes. There's just like any other provider. They're trying to sell what they have, so they have to advertise it somehow. That's some nasty shit there.
Yeah, I can't, like I said, I can't watch anything that has to do with, like, poop or vomit.
Yeah, the vomit doesn't bother me that much, but I don't see how you can sexualize vomit. It's just kind of like, eh.
Oh, you can, absolutely, but...
Oh, I'm sure. Well, I have seen videos of people throwing up into somebody else's mouth, but it wasn't vomit that they were throwing up. Yeah. It was, you know, shit like colored fucking glowing liquids and shit like that.
Right, which isn't quite as gross.
Yeah. It's something they have swallowed beforehand, you know, because they're making a video. So it wasn't like a bunch of SpaghettiOs coming up or something.
Oh,
you know?
okay. You're going to make me heave just like talking about it. Don't make me picture it. I'm trying not to picture it because otherwise I'll be gagging.
But I don't think I don't see that as erotic.
No, some people do. Which, you know, no judgment, but...
Now, the water sports stuff...
No thanks.
The water sports stuff doesn't disgust me. It's just, to me, just kind of dumb. I think, you know, it's like, yeah, okay.
You know what? I don't have an issue with people peeing on each other. Yeah. But when you start drinking it, then that's gross.
That's kind of what I was talking about.
That's gross.
Fucking... They got some fucking crazy people fucking... I was listening to a fucking interview with Lily Lou. She's a... pink-haired, big boob. She seems very cool, you know. Her and her boyfriend. She was started off as an OnlyFans girl, goth. She had black hair and shit, but now it's pink. Her whole thing is pink and white, you know. And her whole thing is to make goofy Japanese faces, like a Hego face, I think is what they call it. All that fetish stuff, and a lot of people that are in the adult industry, they can't go to a mainstream club like with a bunch of fucking dickheads around or something, because if they get recognized, they're gonna either get fucking heckled or they're gonna fucking have dudes fucking just coming at them constantly, you know. So a lot of times what they do is they go to swingers clubs, and that's where she goes. Wherever she's on tour with her boyfriend, they go hang out at all the fucking swingers clubs that they know about, which there's a lot of them. There's one here. It's a real nice one. And she said that fucking her boyfriend's like this fucking enabler, and he's fucking constantly fucking inspiring her to do this crazy shit. And she fucking went into the restroom and fucking dudes would come in and fucking just, you know, pee in her mouth. and she's talking to girls about it in this interview, and she goes, oh no, I love it. She's like, really? And they're like, oh yeah, I like to just swallow it, like I get a whole belly full of that shit. And they're like, wow. And she goes, yeah. And she goes, then I throw it up.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, she throws it up. Yeah, she goes back and throws it. She does it again. They were videotaped. They were not videotaped. I'm old. I say videotaped. They were recording it with phones.
Yeah.
And I don't even think they sold it.
I
don't think they sold it. She was just telling a story. And but the thing is that chicks like that in that industry are not the normal chick in that industry. Most of them in that industry, it is totally transactional. They are fucking professional. They don't really like to do what they do for free a lot. You know what I mean? They actually kind of have normal sex at home. It's more like a role that they're playing in the studio or in front of the camera. A lot of times they're just kind of indifferent. But there are some girls that fucking would do it even if you didn't pay them, that they do it for attention. They just love the thrill of it. Yeah. And she's one of them. And that's why she's risen to the top out of the quagmire. Because she's just fucking wild, man. She's funny, though.
Well, like I said, you can tell people that are like really enjoying themselves.
Yeah, she just loves
people that are just kind of doing.
She doesn't care. She would do that even if you didn't pay her.
Which I kind of like watching people that.
Yeah.
Not them doing anything gross, but you know.
Yeah, it was like back in the day in the 90s. Belladonna was kind of like that. She liked it. She loved porn.
Yeah.
Everything she was doing, she liked it.
Well, hello there says, I prefer porn in a language I don't understand because the bad dialogue and acting isn't so obvious. I turn the volume down. Like, we usually turn the volume down.
That's studio porn. The studio porn's not that good. You want homemade stuff. That's better.
Even then, it's just like, I don't know.
Homemade stuff, just stuff that's like made on mini vids and
when people aren't just saying like scripted dumb shit.
Yeah.
That doesn't, like I said, I don't like
There's
anything that seems like fake, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tetsuo said 2 shoes, 1 sock.
The 2 girls, 1 cup thing was faked.
Well, yeah, I know,
It's
but
fake,
still, even thinking about it, like, grosses me out, even though I knew it was fake, but...
See, you can put something up in there that looks like fucking doo-doo, but it's not.
Still.
And that you can squirt that out, and somebody else will eat it. And on camera, especially if it's low resolution, you think that that's what you saw. That's not really what you saw. Yeah, it came out of her butt, but it wasn't what you thought it was. Coming out, for all you know, it's chocolate pudding.
That's probably what it was.
Or a bunch of cake batter.
It's
bashed up.
It's still kind of gross, though.
You take chocolate cake batter. You take a cake, you break the cake, and you form that into a thing, kind of like what they do with the, with the cake pop. What do they call that thing?
Yeah, cake
like
pop.
that. You put that in. You use that.
Cake pops.
Yeah. and all kinds of, and you have to be fucking, cause I was trying to study a lot of this shit. And I know somebody in the industry, of course, Bill Quinn from Quinn Studios. And fucking, if I ever have any questions, I ask him, and he fucking immediately, oh yeah, what you do is you do this and that and this and that. A lot of the shit, like, you'll see some shit happening, like some blowbang or something, and a girl's got a big old mug, you know what I mean? Fucking when it's over.
That's nasty. Too.
Yeah, but he says you gotta be real fucking careful. She goes, there's gonna be edits, and he goes most of the time, and he goes almost all the time in those edits, they're emptying that out and they're putting something else in there.
Well, yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
It's still gross and I don't want to watch it.
Yeah,
but that makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, mostly some of it's not. It's depending on what it is, but it's But if it's like a mug of this shit, if it's like you go, man, that's a lot. You know what I mean? Fucking, it's usually not what you think it is. But they got them out there, 4 or 5 guys. Yeah, no problem with that. But those girls are fucking veterans, man. They're not civilians, man.
CB says most women don't like being with guys that like feet at the bar because the guy wants to kiss them after sucking their toes and they don't want to taste their own feet.
What? Say that again? Oh, okay.
They want to kiss them after they suck their toes.
Okay.
So it's like, I'm not really that grossed out by feet as long as they're...
I don't like feet.
I mean, as long as they're clean.
It depends on whose feet it is.
Yeah.
But... Yeah.
You don't really have a thing for feet.
I don't have a thing for feet, no.
But my feet are not gross, then. My feet are always clean because I wash them several times a day.
Yeah, I have feet up around here. I mean, kissing on the feet.
Yeah, he likes my feet.
Yeah.
But not like fetish shoes.
No.
Although you do have kind of a shoe fetish.
Yeah. Yeah, shoes are better than feet.
Like you like certain types of shoes.
Yeah, sometimes I gotta bust shoes out. We wear shoes today.
Yeah, we have a whole.
Yeah, I got shoes only for the bedroom.
Because I can't really. Because I can't really walk in.
They gotta look painful. Fucking.
He has to like put them on.
Yeah.
And then if I have to get up or something, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta take them back off again because I can't walk.
She's not a real heel girl. No, she's getting better.
Yeah.
But some of that shit, fucking, you couldn't wear that to the club. You couldn't dance in that.
No, that's what I mean, and it's like, it's kind of a bummer. Like Tom got me this really cool pair of shoes. They're not horribly high. Like I can walk in them. But they looked really awesome, and I really wanted to wear them, and I was like, I bet I can't dance in these because the angle is so severe. Yeah. But I did better than I thought. Like I did walk in them. Yeah, I danced in them a little bit, and I didn't fall. Like even when I was drunk, because I was kind of worried that I was gonna like fall over and stuff like that. But I did okay. But really, probably about 2 or 3 hours into the night, I had to go out and change shoes.
Yeah, we had a backup.
Yeah, I had to back up shoes because I said I don't want to be like just having to sit on a bench all night.
Yeah.
It was a night like. I mean, it was Memento Mori, so I don't usually dance as much that night because I don't like the music as much. But, I mean, when we go on Saturday nights, I like to wear kind of comfortable shoes, like boots that are kind of flat, or they can be platforms, but not super heels, because it's like, I want to dance a lot. And I don't want to not be able to walk the next day. Or worry about falling over, you know what I mean? So, I feel like most of the girls there wear flat shoes for that very reason, because they're just going to dance.
They're platforms, though.
Yeah.
Big, tall platforms.
Yeah, most of the time. Yeah. So, but those aren't, like I said, what makes the shoes uncomfortable is the angle that your foot is at. Yeah. Because if you feel like you're walking around on your tiptoes all night.
And you feel like you're sliding forward, probably.
And you feel like you're sliding forward and you're kind of going to side and side like that. Yeah. Like, and it's real unsteady. And like I said, the drunker you get, you're just kind of like, oh. You have to like hang on to the wall and shit.
It eventually becomes second nature, though. Look, you just have to wear them a lot, get used to it. I fucking saw a video clip of fucking two hookers fighting that looked like what's that fucking out in California? What's the name of that fucking road? Fucking they go on. It's kind of like their version of fucking OBT. And they were fighting the fucking. White girl fucking started running, and she's running in those fucking mega stripper heels. You know, like fucking 6-inch fucking platform, fucking, you know what I mean, fucking big fucking heels. And she was running across uneven ground, almost in a dead run. And you hear go, and they were both wearing those they were fighting in those fucking heels.
Well, I'm not doing that, so.
But no, she
I don't have any insurance, and I don't want to break my ankles.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think it's strength. It's finesse. They got used to the angles involved. I think it's just.
Well, yeah,
they're not thinking about it. They're not even thinking about it. I don't think it takes any strength.
No, it doesn't. But like I said,
balance and.
Yeah, and I don't have real good balance. My inner ears are fucked up, and.
Yeah.
So I've always, like I said, even when I have flat shoes on, I'm kind of like, whoa, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not great. So it's kind of, and I don't like being up high like that, you know? It kind of freaks me out a little bit. It makes me kind of dizzy.
It's funny.
Why? No, it's serious. No, I'm serious.
It's like 4 inches.
I know, but it's like, to me, it feels like really high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Because like I said, I just get dizzy like really easy. Zach says the closest I've got to know what it's like wearing heels is when I put corrective arches in my sneakers, which is not at all the same thing, is it? But, you know. Yeah. John Gora says feet are an erogenous zone of their own. They are. It's like, I'm ambivalent about feet.
It's funny, my, in the chat.
Yeah.
My indicator that says how many people there are in the chat, it never moves, really. I have to back out and go back in. At first it said there was only like 7 people. I was like, damn, we don't have very many. And I backed out, came back in. It says, no, we got fucking close to 30. Like 25.
All right. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't know if I really have... I don't know if I'd call anything that I have a fetish. I have, like, certain proclivities, but I don't know. And I'm pretty open to a lot of stuff, because some stuff I never really thought about it, but then, like, we would see some video randomly of somebody doing it, and I'm like, that's kind of hot. I never even thought about that, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's good. It's just like I've said before, it's like how with dudes, I don't really have a type. It's like, I just kind of know it when I see it. You know, so if somebody asked me, like, you know, if I was single and they said, well, what are you looking for? Like, if I had to do, like, a dating profile or something like that, holy shit, I don't know what the fuck I would put. You know what I mean? Other than, like, somebody that was into the same shit as me. That's about all I could think of. But physically, I have no idea. Because, like I said, I don't fucking know you, so... how the fuck do I know? You can be cool as shit. I don't give a shit what you look like. You know what I mean? Zach says, by the way, do you guys think a show about unfinished works or lost media would be interesting, like unfinished movies, books, album art? It might be, because I really like lost media type of shit. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know. I'll write that down. It's like, that's kind of a big topic, but I mean, I was just watching I think I mentioned this before, like an Expo video the other day about the darkest lost media, which is like weird episodes of TV shows and you know, the audio of the dude getting eaten by the bear and all that other kind of stuff, but it was really good. And Wang does lost media stuff.
DVD Dragon asking me if I thought there'd be a tariff on Brazilian butt lifts. They're not importing them directly from Brazil. They can be produced locally.
Yeah.
That's funny.
DVD Dragon said, are you excited about the 28 Years Later movie? One of the best trailers I've seen in years. Yeah, I do actually really want to see that. Like, the other movies were phenomenal, so I really liked all those. I can't believe it took... I mean, it's kind of cool that they did the 28 years later, like after the first movie. So
what are they talking about?
It's a zombie movie.
Oh, the zombie. It's like 28 days later. Right?
Yeah, 28 days later. That was the first one.
Okay.
And now it's been 28 years since that came out.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, so they're doing 28 years later. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Wow.
This would be the fourth one, right? Because didn't they do 28 days later and then they did 28 weeks later?
I don't think I've really seen any of them.
We reviewed the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Danny Boyle. And I saw the second one in the theater, but I think that was before I knew you. I think. When did that come out? I don't remember. Yeah, CB said, Jenny, that's the best thing about fetish bars is it's a safe place and you can't get hurt. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we like about Barbarella, which is kind
of... The type of people in there are easy to deal with.
Are chill. Yeah. Everybody's really fucking chill. There's never any trouble. They don't even really have a bouncer, per se. Yeah. Not really. I guess a couple people could be pressed into service if it was necessary, but as long as we've been going there, it has not been necessary.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of what they say about secrets. I wouldn't mind checking it out, but the thing is, you got to buy a membership. It's like a gym membership.
I don't know if it's still like this or not, but I heard that you could do a membership. Or you could just do like a guest thing, like to see if you like it.
Okay, they have that.
Or you could I think you can do that, but I don't know. Like that, like I said, I was researching a story a long time ago, and so I got kind of curious because Tony and Alita were always bringing it up, and I was just kind of like, what the fuck? How does that work? Like, what are the rules of the place? Because they can't just have like motherfuckers just wandering in there, right? Like off the street. So and they don't. So
it's pretty much couples and single women.
Yeah, technically, single men are not allowed to go there. You have to be in a couple. Single women are allowed because, like I said, they're not going to do anything. But I've heard, because I was reading some of the Yelp reviews, but this was, like I said, probably a couple years ago, that they were like, well, they say they don't allow single men, but there's still some creeping around. So I don't know, how accurate that is.
Friends of the staff probably letting them in.
I mean, yeah, maybe. But
or guys that used to be a couple, but then the girl fucking split on him.
Yeah. But it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a thing where
I just want to see what they're doing.
Well, I think there's a thing where, because some people just like to go because of the atmosphere. Some people like to go and just have other people watch them.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. Like, you don't have to have other people involved. Like, no one's gonna make you.
No, you don't have to do
anything you don't want to do. But it's like some people are like exhibitionists and stuff like that. I picture it like
Southern Nights, but hotter.
Yeah.
That's how I picture it.
Although I suspect that a lot of people that go there are probably not people you'd want to watch fuck.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, now I saw photographs of
some of them were okay looking.
Some of the crowds, they look good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe. Because I don't know, I always thought, because, I grew up in Florida.
Yeah.
And people talk about, like, we have, like, a bunch of nude beaches and stuff.
Yeah, you're like, you don't want to go.
And, you don't want to go. I mean, maybe you do. But it's like, it's not going to be what you're picturing.
Bunch of fat dudes with little bitty dicks and little skinny arms and legs walking around trying to look for the one woman that's fucking laying out.
There's actually, like, nudist, communities here, too.
Yeah.
But
I think with the children and everything, right?
Yeah, but like I said, it's I don't know what they're like nowadays, because that was a long time ago I heard about that. I think they're still around, but yeah, it's most of the time it's never anyone you'd particularly want to see naked.
Nudist camps.
Yeah. Or like there's whole little communities, like little neighborhoods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like enclosed communities.
Walking around naked and shit.
Yeah, because some people are into that,
Yeah, it was funny. It's like they're kids and everything.
Yeah.
Although you can put on clothes. I think.
Yeah, they don't make you be naked.
Yeah, but
it's not the law.
Right.
It's just like you can if you want to, if you're feeling it that day. If you're feeling it that day.
It's just whatever, man. Whatever people are into, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's not really my thing. I don't give a shit. It's not my thing, but I don't give a shit that they do it.
Yeah, it's like that's okay.
It's not really a big deal.
I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is, for one thing, I think people. I know it's gonna sound weird, but like maybe people sexualize nudity too much. Because sometimes I think the whole nudist thing is that like, look, it's just a body. Like everybody's got one. And just because you're walking around naked doesn't mean, ooh, sexy time, like, all the time. You know what I mean? It's just a fucking body.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what their thing is.
I think those people kind of have a nudist fetish, though.
That could also be possible.
Yeah, I think they're fetishizing the fact that I'm liberated and free. I don't have any clothes on. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. I'm comfortable in front of everybody.
Yeah.
They're not really getting a sexual rocks off on it, but I think it's like an emotional...
Yeah.
Getting off of the fact that they don't have anything to hide. I can hide nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of what I think.
That's how I picture it. Because you know who said that in that fucking movie that we watched, Saturn 3. What was the old guy's name? Fucking not Rock Hudson. What's that fucker's name? The one that was playing opposite.
Yeah. I know.
Of fucking
Farrah Fawcett.
Farrah Fawcett. What was that guy's name?
Oh shit. I can see his face and now I can't think.
Kirk Douglas.
Kirk Douglas. Yeah.
For that movie, he had to do a nude scene, and for the whole day he was naked.
Yeah.
And he got to where he was real comfortable. He was just walking around, naked and sitting down, talking to people. And then he
had to wipe the chairs down.
And then he started to go like, I could do this.
And they're like,
this is actually very nice. He's like that. He's like, y'all should take your clothes off. He's doing shit like that.
Everybody take your clothes off.
Yeah, everybody should take your clothes off. They're like, nah.
I'm good.
He said he'd get up and just start talking to people and shit. They could make him kind of uncomfortable. Kirk Douglas.
I'm comfortable. What's the matter with you?
Yeah. Because I understand it now.
Get rid of your hang-ups, man.
Yeah, I understand it. This is not bad. This is all right.
That's really funny. But I could see that. Like I said, it would be very liberating because, like you said, you're not trying to cover up anything or just like, this is me, like, love it or leave it, you know what I mean, kind of thing. So I get that, but...
Well, it's like making a video, but it's live. Well, we've done that, but...
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's just not a sexual situation. You're just walking around.
That's what I mean. So...
Yeah.
Because I think people think that, like, they think, ooh, nudist colony, and they think everybody's just banging 24/7. But it's like, no, they're just people just doing regular shit, but just, like, doing it naked. Because some people are into that.
Yeah, when I was a kid, fucking my Aunt Lois, fucking Wesley and shit, fucking some of my other aunts, we'd go up to Sequoia National Forest, fucking go to Yosemite, and there was a lake there, It's not Clarko. What's the name of that fucking lake? But there were times you went in there and this is back in the 70s. It was just nude. Everybody took all their shit off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very
teenage
70s
girls,
thing.
little girls, fucking grown women, the dudes. A couple people would start doing it, and the rest of them would start doing it. Next thing you know, they don't have any clothes on. Taking sun and shit, and swimming. Yeah, I remember it. I was like, wow, all right. I didn't take my shit off, though. Like, fuck that.
Fuck that.
Yeah, teenage girls walk by, and, they're probably about 13, 14, and I'm like, maybe like 10, 8, 9, 10, around that. And I was just like, whoa. But you do get used to it real quick.
Yeah, like after a while, it
like,
stops being a big deal. Oh, yeah, there's another one.
I'm playing with fucking toys and shit.
Yep, there's another naked
Yeah, I was
chick.
playing with Micronauts.
I remember those.
Remember Micronauts? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah.
CB said the fetish bar me and the girlfriend go to, you have to be a member to get in, and they vet you beforehand. Probably a good idea. Well, like I said, I'm pretty sure like the swingers club here, from what I could determine, they kind of do the same thing. I don't know if the rules are as enforced as stringently as some people might like, but you do have to have a membership, or you have to pay for like a guest thing, like over a weekend or something. And they do have like a lot of rules about what you can do, like where you can be naked and where you can't be naked and all this other kind of shit. So
yeah, and evidently that's where all the like fucking Orlando's got a huge porn scene, a huge amateur porn scene, a semi-pro porn scene, and that's where they all party. They go down there when they go out.
Yeah,
a lot of times that's where they go.
Yeah,
they go there and they go for like the Southern Nights.
Mm.
We like Southern Nights. Southern Nights was actually there was a goth night that we used to go.
Yeah,
our friend used to throw there. It was fucking great. What was the name of that night?
Escape.
That's right.
It was like a fetish night, like a goth industrial fetish.
Yeah. But when we weren't there, it was like a gay bar / trans bar.
Yeah, and they had drag shows and stuff.
Drag shows and trans shit.
And like I said, it looks kind of like a hole from the outside, but it's like on the inside, it's beautiful.
You go in there and it's like a fucking tropical paradise.
And it has this really nice like back patio, and it's just like it's super
real good
fancy.
Dance floors,
but it looks like nothing from the outside.
Yeah,
it's so
you would never know what was in there.
Yeah,
it's almost kind of had a tiki atmosphere. If you ever
yeah,
like something from Hawaii kind of looking thing.
Yeah,
and they had good dance floors, sound system, lights. They had a stage.
Yeah, like a little theater.
Yeah, like a theater with stage on it.
Well, that's where they did the drag shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they always did, like, at Escape, they would do, like, dirty game shows.
Yeah, they did game shows.
Like, you'd volunteer people to go up there, and you had to play, like, fucked up games.
Yeah, they had me up there.
And you'd win sex toys and stuff.
They had me in there fucking digging through a fucking thing of cat litter, kitty litter filled with fucking shit. But it wasn't real kitty litter. It was fucking Rice Krispies. With fucking,
like Tootsie Rolls in there.
Yeah, with Tootsie Rolls and fucking chocolate fucking pudding. And I had to go in there with my hands to fucking get something out, some kind of prize. You had to get a certain amount of them at a certain time and shit. And I won. And then they gave me a fucking porn DVD.
Yeah, we won some porn DVDs. We won
I was like, all right.
We won handcuffs.
Yeah, he tried to give me the gay one, and I'm going, no. He never goes, all right, give him the straight one.
All right. And I won, like, one of those little...
It's all gag
vibrating egg things.
Yeah, they're gag prizes mostly.
Yeah. I think I don't remember what the game was exactly. All I remember was, like, I had this huge inflatable dick, and there was this girl, and I was, like, kind of had to put it in her... Not in her butt, but, like, pretend to put it in her butt.
Yeah.
And then there was, like, shaving cream involved. Yeah. I was a little bit drunk.
Yeah. It was fun.
It was something like that.
I got pictures of it.
I definitely have pictures of you with your face in the cat box.
Yeah,
because I thought that was very funny.
Yeah, I was all dressed up and goth fucking getting that shit all over me.
I remembered you weren't allowed to use your hands. You had to actually just put your face in there.
No, I think he fucks. You can use your hands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's not fun.
I think it was at first.
But it was taking too long.
Wasn't getting anything out of there.
It's taking too long. They're like, never mind. Just stick your hand in there.
Yeah. As long as I made an attempt with my face,
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. None of the fucking games were serious.
No. It was like I said, they were just all like filthy.
Yeah, and it was none of the games were serious, and the prizes were fucking just like gag prizes.
Mm-hmm. Although I think
audience participation.
Yeah,
they had real good bartenders there too.
I think the last game,
Yeah.
I think they gave you like a $50 bar tab or something.
Yeah.
So some people, like, everybody did play, but usually you just got like cheap sex toys kind of thing. You know what I mean? So we
all the bartenders were gay dudes and drag queens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool place. Like I said,
I
don't even know if it's still there. Is it still there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still there.
We haven't been there in a long time.
It's still there. It's still there.
And it's like
nobody's throwing anything there.
No.
For us, it's you know.
And it's like the weird thing too is like it's not in a place where there's no other clubs.
Nope.
Around. Like it's literally across the street from like a shitty like office park.
Yeah.
So it's like at night there's nothing. There's like nowhere to go. There's no fast food restaurants. There's no nothing. It's just like it's houses and shitty office complexes.
Yeah.
And so everything's closed.
But that makes it very safe.
But yeah,
it's secluded.
That's probably why they put it there.
It's downtown.
Yeah.
It's basically downtown. But you would never, if you didn't know that was there, you'd never find it.
Yeah.
And you could have a fucking outrageous goth night there, like we had. You know, fucking outrageous fucking outfits. Fucking the girls were like mostly nude. You know, they're just wearing ass hanging out, just fishnets and shit.
And they usually did themes.
Yeah, themes for a night.
Like they would always have a theme, like, and you'd come in costume.
Yeah.
Like, and some people did the costumes.
And the big boob girls would show up.
Yeah.
There was these two big boob fucking porn star girls that fucking made videos with each other and shit. What was her name? Fucking Princess Powers. Pinky Powers. Princess Pinky Powers. You can look her up. Huge boobs. Me and Jen got pictures with her. She was pretty cool. I forgot what her real name was, though.
Yeah.
She's married now.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in a long time.
She just went. She would just go to fetish clubs, and you know, so they were there. It was just another era.
Yeah,
because dude went back to fucking. He went to California.
Well, and the main guy, Mike, that was behind, he died.
Yeah, died of a cocaine overdose.
Yeah, he OD'd.
Oh, yeah, or.
And then Destin, the other guy, he moved to L.A.
Yeah, Dustin. Yeah, Mike Stone. He snorted up a bunch of cocaine, and I think it might have had heroin in it that killed him, or fentanyl.
Yeah. Yeah, he OD'd a few years back.
He was a cocaine guy. He loved it. He was bald, kind of like me. He had some size to him, but he was kind of overweight. He was cool. I liked him.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He had all the money that was backing the stuff. He kind of had a punk rock look to him.
Yeah, he was like a big old punk rocker.
He wasn't old.
Not that old.
He wasn't old. He's in his 40s.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he OD'd. Like, out of the blue.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yeah. And he wasn't, like, a druggie in the way you would think he was. Like, he wasn't addicted to any you know, like, heroin or anything like that. He didn't present as a druggie.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably never know.
Yeah, he just presented as a
I never noticed
normal club guy, yeah.
Him acting weird or nothing.
Yeah. Oh, I think he just got a hold of some shit he wanted to snort up. Fucking coke's good, if you can get it. I wouldn't trust it nowadays. I would not trust it.
Yeah, true. You don't know what the fuck's
They're going to lace that shit with fucking fentanyl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't snort any of that, any fucking powders or anything.
Yeah. My drink's almost empty, too. John Gore says, if you could make a theme bar, what would you make? An Old West Saloon or something more Jetsons Star Trek? I've been, you know, I always wanted to do like an old school, like absinthe house. You know what I mean? Or either that, or I wanted to do something themed around like Edgar Allan Poe. I thought that would be really cool. But you know, you could have like rooms having to do with the stories. I thought that'd be kind of cool. I don't have the money to do it, obviously. Actually, in Orlando, we've never been, crazily enough. And I'm not entirely sure if it's still open. But we have a thing. It's kind of a bar. I think they have like, it's like a coffee house type of thing too. But it's kind of horror themed. They have like a lot of Addams Family shit in there and everything like that. It looks super cool, like from the pictures. I don't know why we've never been. It's kind of downtown, so we really don't go downtown anymore because there's nothing much down there. And like when Anastasia was here last weekend, she said that her and some of her other friends had gone downtown. And she's like, man, there's like nothing down there. Like everything's closed. So.
Make another drink.
Yeah. Yeah, John Gore said a Poe bar could work. That's what I thought.
Oh, what could work?
Edgar Allan Poe based bar. I thought that would be super cool. Or a Lovecraft one would be cool too. But like, you know, I just thought the Poe one would be better because, like I said, you could have all kind of like shit from his stories, and you could have like a big blade thing hanging from the ceiling and all that kind of shit. I just thought that would be really awesome. Well, Hello There says nude beaches need no erection zones. Yeah, I mean, I've never been to a nude beach. There are some nude beaches around here, like not around here because we're in the central part of the state, but like over on the coasts. I think probably the one that I remember hearing about the most is Playa Linda. But I never been there. I know some people that have been there, but I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't really appeal to me. I don't like beaches anyways. It's like, I don't know. It's just never really anything. I get that it's kind of like, I would probably get like a little bit of a charge about like just walking around naked in public, but I don't know.
That is punch.
Oh, okay.
That's punch, yeah.
This is punch. Did we drink up all the other shit?
No,
Oh, okay.
Just it's not carbonated.
We're just trying out other stuff.
It out. It's not carbonated. You can open it all. It won't go flat or anything.
Woo. All right. That's very flavorful. More than the other one. CB says, asked if we watched season 2 of The Last of Us yet. No, we haven't even. You know what? We haven't even watched the first season yet. I know everybody keeps telling us to watch it, and it's like, I will get around to it, like, eventually. Promise. High Dozer said, there is a Lovecraft bar in Portland. I knew there was one somewhere. I kind of want to go to that now. Does anybody have a Poe bar? I kind of feel
Lovecraft would sell better.
Well, they do have a Lovecraft one, he just said, in Portland.
But not here.
No, not here. But yeah, probably a Lovecraft one would.
Oh, yeah. Because you'd have a bigger male
audience. I'm picturing it. I'm picturing it right now, like what it would look like. That would be super awesome.
It'd have to be aquatic.
Yeah, you could do like all fucking everything would have tentacles on it, and you could do like a whole like sinister sea thing. I think that would be really cool. DVD Dragon said, make a club designed like H.H. Holmes' house. That is actually a great idea. And could make it an escape room. That would be fucking awesome.
Security would be a problem.
Yeah, but that'd be fucking awesome. I mean, also, there'd be a lot of hoops you'd have to jump through, but it could be done. I mean, people do escape rooms and stuff like that, so...
But what about fire hazard? You couldn't get out of there if it caught fire. There's all kinds of shit. They wouldn't let you do it.
Well, like I said, they do escape rooms.
Yeah.
And they're allowed to do those,
it wouldn't be a club
within regulations.
Yeah,
but
probably you can't have a high body count in there. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Well, all clubs have that. Like, you're only allowed to have so many people in there because of that.
Yeah. But something that doesn't have any exits, limited mobility through there, they'd probably it'd be illegal to have a bunch of people in there, like, for a profitable club. You could theme it like that. But you couldn't have mazes in it.
Right. Where people,
can,
got drunk and be like, oh my God, I'm lost!
Yeah, and the place catches on fire and they can't get out.
Yeah, Hido said it's very goth. I mean, I would hope so. The Lovecraft bar.
And then you'd have to have a way to have security in there. People be sneaking off, fucking jumping each other's asses and shit in there, you know what I mean? Which, where Zach hangs out in them damn gay bars and shit, that's all right. They sneak off and fuck each other in the booty all the time. But you see, when it's a mixed crowd of men and women, you might have some dude he's just going, I'm going to take advantage of this and just jump on some girl. There's all kinds of shit. Then there's a big lawsuit.
Yeah.
If you were in Boston, you went into the manhole or the ramrod, you were fucking taking your life in your hands already. You've already agreed you're going into the fucking leather daddy bar. Did I ever tell you about the fucking ramrod, my ramrod story?
I don't know.
I was going to, I forgot where I was going to Fenway. I was going to go to Venus de Milo and got off the wrong fucking stop on the subway and came up. But it was only one stop away. So I said, fuck it, I'm not going to pay to get back on the fucking T and go another stop. I'll just walk. I had to walk in front of, and I was gothed out and shit. Had to walk in front of the ramrod. Ramrod was a leather bar. And out in front of it had a fucking bunch of Harleys and shit. Fucking leather daddies on the Harleys fucking partying, drinking, fucking, they start looking at me, woo! Woo! Yeah!
All right.
And one of them yells out, ain't nothing better than a barrel-bottomed boy.
Oh.
That's what that motherfucker said. I was just waving. Come on back here.
Thank
you want
you,
to ride?
sir.
Come on back here. Come on back here, boy. Yeah, that's fucking funny.
That is pretty
I
funny.
had vampire makeup on and everything.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, they would have just torn you up.
Get on the back of this bike.
Now I'm kind of thinking about that.
Yeah. Had them fucking PVC bondage pants on with fucking knee-high fucking Doc Martens, a fucking frock, 1800s frock coat, fucking white shirt with fucking ruffles and fucking
Yeah.
kind of like an ascot going through there, and fucking my hair done and fucking teeth. I had fucking fangs in. I didn't have contacts, but I had teeth, and I had the fucking pale blue foundation, white powder on, fucking purple fucking eyeshadow, fucking eyeliner, liquid eyeliner on.
Nice.
Oh man, looked like straight up Dracula.
Or gay up Dracula.
It looked like some kind of fucking gay bondage Dracula.
Yeah. Like the Andy Warhol one.
That was 90s goth, man.
It was, yeah. You
I
can
got a
still
picture of it.
still do that now.
I got a picture of that shit.
Although most people don't do that
That look is not really in anymore.
just for Barbarella, but
Yeah.
I mean, if they do, because like the castle does like a vampire ball, I guess they still do it every year. So everybody like goes all out for that. You know what I mean? Like fucking, and we went to it a couple years back, and it was so fucking packed. Like you couldn't even move hardly. There was like a bajillion people in there. Like it literally took like a fucking hour like to get a drink because it was just solid people.
Yeah.
You remember that when we went to the fucking castle for the vampire ball?
Oh yeah. It wasn't even really that fun. It was just so fucking crowded.
Yeah, because the whole time you're just like, excuse me,
Yeah.
excuse me, excuse me.
Everybody looked great though.
And everybody had like big fucking Elizabethan dresses on and fucking
Yeah, big hoop
wings,
skirts and
shit like that. So it's like, you know, but yeah, it was
Going
kind of
back into time to the
and the
1700s.
castle is a big place. I mean, it's not tiny.
Yeah.
It's 2 floors.
That's what I was wearing.
But there you go. See, look how cute.
Yeah. This was the outfit I was wearing.
That's it.
That's me. hold on. Let me see. Get my fan.
I was gonna fuck up my lighting again.
Fuck up the lighting. See if I can
Fuck up the lighting again.
makeup and everything. That was fucking like 96.
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Zach?
That was very 90s, like everything.
Yeah, very
was-
90s.
All that super uber vampire
Yeah.
Victorian shit that was like way in the 90s. You know, like I said, you could still do that now, but I think people would be like, it's a bit much.
Yeah, back when I had pretty hair. I don't know what my hair looks like now.
You got pretty hair.
Yeah.
Do you ever get curious and you just want to grow it back for a little while and see what it looks like?
After all this fucking testosterone and steroids, I probably don't have any hair. No, I have hair. It's just probably, and I have it here. It's probably just fucking real thin, probably. And it doesn't get very dark, so I'm thinking it's gray now.
Did you mention on the show, like, because I didn't even look at your head, but like where a couple weeks ago, like,
I cut my head up.
He was shaving his head.
It's gone.
And yeah, he took like a big chunk out of it. Holy crap! I thought that was never gonna stop bleeding. We went through like fucking. We just kept putting more gauze on it, and it would soak through more gauze and shit like that. And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, DVD Dragon saying Zach's got no problem in the bath out. There's no tariff on the booty. No, there's no tariff on booty. Booty's free trade.
Zach says the amount of fluids that aren't piss those restrooms at the bar have probably seen. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, High Desert said Tom got his rod rammed. All those guys wish they had rammed
Zach
his rod
says
in
with
there.
all that makeup, he could see me doing drag. I was in drag. It was vampire drag.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
kind of.
I had fucking teeth and everything. I had custom teeth made.
I never went that far.
But we didn't have contact lenses in those days. they existed, but they were fucking super expensive.
Yeah, it was hard to get them.
Super expensive. They're like $500.
Like now it's super easy to get them, but you know.
Yeah.
CB said Tommy looked like a goth British police officer from the 1800s.
The jacket was actually a costume from a play about the Civil War, and it was like General Grant's jacket. I think General Grant.
Yeah.
I think, or one of the presidents. It was black though, and I said that shit is fucking goth as fuck. And it was in an antique store.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, that's from a play, and it having to do with the Civil War. And I was like, really? It was some kind of officer's coat, and I think she said it was from General Grant. And I put it on, and it fit perfectly. I said, oh, I'm buying this shit. It didn't have any real pockets. The pockets were all fake, but it didn't matter. And what I liked about it, what made it so good for the club, is that it didn't have a liner.
So it wasn't hot.
So it wasn't hot.
Yeah.
It was totally unlined. And it was just a black canvas. So it was a tough material. It was just meant to look good on stage. It was black canvas and black velour or velveteen.
Yeah.
Like the cuffs and shit like that. And going around the collar.
You don't have that anymore, do you?
Gone. Yeah. Gone.
Because I know you have some of the older stuff still.
No, it accidentally got destroyed.
How'd that happen?
It got destroyed after it went out of style anyway.
Oh. Yeah, Tom doesn't really... The last time he did makeup was the vampire ball that we went to. I mean, interestingly, I was never real into, like... I love goth shit, and I like some vampire stuff, but I never really got into the vampire sub-genre, you know? Because, you know, the goth subculture has a lot of little smaller subcultures, like, inside of it. Not as much anymore. I think it's kind of more... You know, as the subculture sadly has become slightly more divorced from the music, but there used to be little subsets, and so there was a whole vampire goth thing, and they would just do the whole 9 yards. They usually did like real Victorian kind of shit. A lot of them had custom fangs and all that kind of stuff. And I never really got into that because a lot of them, I thought, took it way too fucking seriously, you know? Like, they had all their own parties and stuff like that, and sometimes I would go. But most of the people I knew that were, like, exclusively into, like, the vampire goth thing were really douchey.
Yeah.
Because they took it too serious. They took it too serious.
Okay, look. What happened was started to happen in the late part of the 90s, at least in the New Orleans area. That's where that photo was taken. All right, that was past Christian, Mississippi, and I was with my first wife. And that scene started slowly to get fucked up because of something called Vampire the Masquerade, which was a fucking gang.
Yeah, I remember that.
So these people playing this stupid card game started showing up to the club.
Yeah.
Man, they were dorky, and they didn't know the music.
It's just like when those little Marilyn Manson kids started showing up at the place. We were like, oh no.
So they started showing up cramping our style. They're not real goths, but they kind of fucking show up to the club and they start to copy us.
Yeah.
And they're in vampire costumes. For them, it's a costume. For us, it was more like just a fucking fashion fucking thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's just kind of what we wore all the time.
You know?
Yeah.
So he says, well, shit, we're going to have to change the game.
Yeah.
So then it started to go a little bit more futuristic looking, and it started to go more towards kind of what you think like what you would call now cyber.
Yeah.
Kind of like a cyber look.
Which I didn't like that much either, but
that's gone now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you don't really see.
You don't see cyber much. Cyber was about fucking girls with big fur lower leggings, like a bell bottom type thing, huge fucking platforms.
Lots of neon
wigs with fucking a lot of neon, black with neon wigs with big fucking fake dreadlocks made out of fucking rubber hoses or just, you know, all kinds of shit. Big fucking goggles on the tops, goggles on their fucking heads.
Yeah, that was a huge thing.
Skirts, ass hanging out the bottom. The girls were sexy. It was a sexy look for girls. The dude look was generic, if you ask me. I was like, man.
The dudes never look as interesting.
It's just a black outfit with those boots. You know what I mean? And maybe they'd do a little wig thing with some goggles. But it just never looked as cool as the girls' clothes. There wasn't anything available. That was, you had to make all that shit back then. You couldn't buy it.
Yeah.
Some of it you could.
Some of it you could, but a lot of it was kind of
make
expensive too.
Yeah.
You know?
And people say, why would you want to make all these clothes go to the club? Why the fuck would you want to make a Mardi Gras outfit? On Mardi Gras, those big Mardi Gras parades, they're making those outfits to go.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Well, and like people make costumes to go to like horror conventions and other stuff like that. It's like because it's fun.
Yeah.
Why do you need another reason?
Yep.
It's fun, and that's like what your hobby is. So, I don't, like I said, we don't go to too many like super upper echelon events or anything. So it's like usually, I mean, I like to look good and I like to look more dressy than I normally do.
Yeah.
But, you can't go too crazy. You don't go too crazy. Now, at Memento Mori, you do see people more gothed out. You know what I mean? But like I said, Barbarella, like Saturday night, is 80s new wave goth post-punk. So it's like, so some people look kind of normal, or they just kind of look, they just have like a band t-shirt and like, some chucks and shit and black jeans and shit like that. And everyone's just kind of chill with it. Some people are gothed out, some people not so much, And everybody's just, because it's 80s shit, I always kind of thought every now and then you don't really get this so much here, and you didn't really get it at the pickleball place because you couldn't just wander in there. But every now and then you'd get people, and you did get this at Mannequins, because Mannequins does an 80s night too on Saturdays, and so sometimes you get like normies dressed up in an 80s costume. Like a Halloween costume. And it's funny because it's like none of them grew up in the 80s, so I'm like, nobody wore that in the 80s. Yeah. That's a Halloween costume. You know what I mean?
Costume of the 80s.
Of the 80s. And it's just like nobody looked like that. I was there. So like sometimes you'd see it in movies, but even in movies you'd be like, what the fuck? Like nobody looks like that. Nobody dresses like that. But yeah, so you do see that at like Mannequins sometimes. Like you see, because they're just like, oh, it's 80s night. We're going to, like, spray different colors in our hair and stick it up like Cyndi Lauper. And we're going to, like, put on these, like, big fucking, like, neon, what do you call those, like, the skirt things that stick out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, these big poofy skirts and stuff like that. And then they come in and everybody else just looks kind of normally or gothy or whatever. And they're like, oops.
These are some friends of mine from the 90s. That was in Boston. Those were fucking Boston goths from the fucking 90s. That must have been probably around 95. That's what we were wearing.
Yeah, very 90s.
Yeah. And shit like this. The little guy, that's a DJ friend of mine, and that was his. I think that might be Roz Williams standing next to him, if I remember correctly. Isn't that Roz Williams?
I can't really see.
I think that might be Roz Williams from Christian Death.
It's hard to say.
I know some of the pictures are him. He was friends with Roz Williams.
It's all white.
Yeah.
I can't really tell who that is. DVD Dragon says, goth gatekeeping, cultural appropriation. Yeah. Just kidding.
That's Roz.
Well, yeah, that's definitely Roz there. But, yeah.
That's Javier.
But I couldn't tell.
And Roz Williams from picture. Christian Death. Yeah, that was probably around 95. Roz killed himself.
He did.
Hung himself on April Fool's Day.
Yep. He went out like Ian Curtis went out.
Yeah.
Ian Curtis also hanged himself.
That's me in Boston over
Not
there.
on April Fool's Day,
with
though.
the black jacket right there. The guy on the ground is a French dude we used to name Merlin. The two girls on the other side. The one on the other side, this is Melissa. She's a friend of mine. She's in town now. Remember the girl that showed up?
Yeah, that's right.
Melissa. That was back then.
Whatever happened to her?
I think her boyfriend forbade her from going out.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what ended up happening.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let you forbid me from doing nothing.
Yeah, that's me and Melissa, and that was Saran, my girlfriend at the time. That was 90s back in Boston. Look how taller she is than me. See, I told you guys short motherfuckers. You can be in the short man mafia and end up with tall women. She was maybe fucking 5'10", maybe. See if I got another picture of her. She was taller than me.
John Gora said, "Is it fair to say you're in a post-goth period?"
No, it's around still.
Yeah, I don't even know if there is such a thing. It's hilarious because, you know, it started out as this little subculture in the late 70s, and I think people are surprised that it just kept on trucking.
There are people that come to the
club.
club.
There are goth bars everywhere.
There are people that come to the club, mostly women, girls, that come to the club that are in their 20s, early 20s, that look like they stepped out of a fucking 1982 goth dream poster.
Yeah.
They look death rock as shit, and they got it correct. They're totally correct in the way they're doing everything. We're like, yeah, that's the way it would have looked. But you see, we didn't have access to the fucking clothes that these kids have now. Shein and Temu has fucking good goth clothes. We would have had to fucking go to like fucking Black Rose catalog or some of these other little fanzine catalogs to get that kind of shit. And they would have robbed us over it. The shit was expensive. Goth clothes were expensive.
Because it was so niche back then.
Yeah. Like, no, they look fantastic and they're young. The thing is, though, is that a lot of the music that they're listening to, we wouldn't call that goth music.
Now, some of them are into...
Some do. They know the old shit.
Some of them know the old shit,
yeah.
And some of them like some of the newer goth bands, like Twin Tribes and French Police and stuff like that. So a lot of them like do know a lot of the newer shit. That sound. But the funny thing is, the new goth shit sounds like the old goth shit.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it does.
Yeah, the new goth sounds like old goth.
Yeah,
sounds like
because I have a bunch of it like on the Spotify, and sometimes for a second, if you can't remember who it is, you're just like, wait, was this from like the 80s? But no, it's like from this year.
Yeah.
But a lot of the bands like that shit so much that it's like they are homaging that, and they weren't even alive when that shit happened.
This is my friend Michelle from Pass Christian, Mississippi. She was a fucking Mississippi goth from the 90s. That's a very 90s look. See if I can get... I got another picture of her face. But we're not... When we talk about this shit, man, we're not bullshitting. Me and Jen were around for that shit. There she is. All right. That's a Mississippi chick. Okay? She'd blow it away and she'd kill it in New York. But we were in... there. She was also from Pass Christian. We would party in the French Quarter.
Yeah, because it's not far.
Yeah, not far, 45 minutes. So we're New Orleans.
John Gore says, what if you showed up in a funky white sheet? Classic Halloween, just not on the holiday. I'd find that funny, but... I'm not sure. I think most people would probably find it funny. There is one guy that goes to Barbarella. I can't remember what his name is, but he's always there. He's always, like, super inebriated, but he's alright. He's kind of funny. And he sometimes wears normal shit, but then sometimes, like, he'll inexplicably show up in a Spider-Man suit. You remember that? You know that guy?
Well, who?
I don't remember what his name is, but he's, like, at Barbarella almost every week. Every now and then he comes there dressed like Spider-Man. Like, he's had other costumes, too, but now I can't remember what they are.
Okay, we were talking about Secrets, the fucking swingers club. That's what it looks like. That's the kind of people that go there.
Well, we know them.
We know them. But they go there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know what the rest of the people that go there.
I saw photographs. They just look... They look okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. They don't look creepy or anything.
They don't look old, like old...
No.
Weird pedos or anything?
No. They look like that. Just more of them.
Okay. Yeah, CV said some of the goths come to the bar me and my girlfriend go to because there is no goth bars, and they love come to bring their friends. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of goth fetish crossover, but the thing about it is that Orlando and Tampa have not a lot, but there's goth shit going on pretty much every weekend. And Tampa has 3 or 4 venues, and goth bands play there. Goth industrial, old ones, new ones, shit like that are playing there pretty much every week. Because I do all the shows. You know what I mean? Like the posters for all the shows.
She does all the posters and all the promotion for clubs and the bands.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, if you see any poster for any goth industrial band that's playing in Tampa, that I probably did that poster. Not just posters, but, you know, stuff on social media, like, because I usually do 5 different sizes, you know what I mean? Now, sometimes the bands provide their own art, which can be a blessing or a curse, depending on what the art looks like. But sometimes they'll just provide me, it's like, here's like a whole bunch of photos, here's our logo, just do what you want with it, which I kind of like better. But every now and then I'll get something super easy, and they'll send me a whole thing with, like, you know, layered Photoshop files and everything like that. I'm like, wow, holy crap, somebody knew what they were doing. So, you know. Yeah, CB said, Jenny, you should see some of the outfits at the bar on Vampire Night. Yeah, I mean, some people go all out. Like I said, when we went to the Vampire Ball a couple years back, some of the outfits were, like, fucking amazing. Because people had been planning for that all year long. Like, our outfits look good, too, but it's just, you know, I don't really have the money. And I can't sew. So mine wasn't quite as impressive as, like, some of the other people's, but... Because some people, like I said, went all fucking out. Let's see. CB said, I know a goth drag queen. His BJs are amazing.
His BJs are
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Fair enough. But yeah, it's funny because I don't know what I would say about the state of the goth scene now, because there's still, like, a lot of people doing it. There's still a lot of people going out. There's still a lot of people going to goth band shows. And a lot of them are younger. And like I said, there's a lot of new goth bands. A lot of them sound like the old ones, because a lot of people are just into that. So, but they're doing it, you know, they're doing it right. Now, there is, conversely, and I think this is mainly over on, like, TikTok and things like that, and they have the same thing with punk also, is that you have people that are just doing it because of the look. So, like, you know, they have little videos, and it's like where they look all gothed out, or they look like a punk or something like that, but it's like they don't know any of the music, or they don't know. So I think in certain subsections it's become divorced from the music, which is kind of the whole point of the subculture. I mean, that was what the start of the subculture was the music.
The music, and then the social scenes around the clubs that were playing the music.
And then kind of the fashion sort of sprung out of that.
Yeah.
Out of that aesthetic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it all kind of went together.
Yeah, we didn't have internet back then. We had things called fucking friend booklets. Remember those friend rings? I think it was called friend rings. What did they call that? Where you had a big ring.
I know what you're talking about.
You had a big ring, and you had all these little cards on it, and they were plasticated, and each one was made by hand by some goth, and it had their name and their address on it, and what you did is you got the ring, and someone had their photographs, and you went through it, and you saw people that you thought were interesting, and you wrote their addresses down. You wrote them a letter, and then you took the ring and added your own fucking card to it that you made, and you mailed that to somebody else. You mailed that to another goth that you knew, and that's how you grew the ring.
Yeah.
And every time everybody would put something on there. Every time I get one, there'd already be 50 or 60 people on it, and they'd be from all over the United States.
Yeah, because that was kind of how you met people.
That's how you met other goths in other states and shit.
Yeah.
You'd ask them what club. Because now you can go online and find out where the goth clubs are in each state. Back then, you had to figure out who was goth in what state, and then you'd ask them, where is that club?
Like,
what
where
night
do you
is
go?
it? Yeah. And you had to do
is it okay?
And you had to do it through snail mail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what High Desert was saying. That's how you got pen pals. Yeah, that's kind of what we did back then. Because, like I said, we didn't have
I think it was called a friend ring, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't remember it being called that, but
there were fanzines and I think friend rings.
Yeah.
Because it came on a big metal ring. It was like a ring that was like a key ring, but it was probably about 4 inches in diameter.
Yeah.
And some of the things would get big. You had to fucking like FedEx it to somebody that you do in another state, you know, that kind of shit.
American Military said, how do you guys feel when you see goth characters portrayed in movies by clearly clueless Hollywood writers? I haven't been actually too offended by any of the goth characters I've seen.
You haven't seen any fucked up goth characters in a long
Not
time.
really. It's just kind of like I actually kind of get more offended by the 80s movies that always had the punk characters being the bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, or they were in gangs or something.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's
ridiculous.
not how that worked, but okay. You know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of funny, like, looking back on it now, like, how stupid.
Yeah.
I guess because they looked scary, like, everybody assumed that they were... I'm like, no, those were usually way nicer people than, like, the normal-looking people.
I think race was a factor, too, though. They wanted bad guys, but they had to be white. So they got to pick somebody. Because if they put black people as bad guys on anything, well, that shit's racist. So they said, well, what white people don't fit in? You know,
it's like they won't be mad.
Yeah, they're gonna be mad.
Like there's not enough of them
anyway
to sue us.
And that's not the way American punk rockers were.
No.
They first of all were cute, male and female. They were cute in high school. They were popular with each other. People tended to like them.
Yeah.
And they weren't violent or anything.
Nah.
They were fun.
Yeah, they were fun, yeah. Fucking cool and chill.
Yeah. Fucking my high school friend he's not in the comment section right now, but fucking Granthur's Hammer, he's not in. But we can name off all the fucking punk rockers. Fucking and everybody liked them. And yeah, they did kind of have their own clique. But they were just like anybody else. If you were cool to them, they were cool to you. And I already knew punk rock music, so I could fucking, talk about the Exploited, and I could talk about fucking Sex Pistols, and
man, I love the Exploited.
Talk about fucking, Henry Rollins and fucking Black Flag and Dead Kennedys, you know what I mean? So man, I knew where they were coming from. I knew the culture.
Yeah.
Even though at half that time, though, during that time, I was partly metal, and then later more goth. Sisters of Mercy, Bauhaus, that kind of stuff, and which was punk friendly. But
yeah, there was
quite the same thing.
There was a lot of crossover because when I was in high school in the 80s, there weren't enough of... There was a couple of goths, there was a couple of punks, there was a couple of, like, I guess what you call, like, indie people, because that was before alternative music got big. Yeah. So they were kind of, like, into quote-unquote college rock. That's what they used to call it back in the old days. It's the people that were into, like, the Replacements and shit, and Husker Du and shit like that. And, like, all of those people hung out together because it's like they were the misfits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they tended to all be really smart, and they tended to all be, in gifted classes, they tended to all be, like, really nice. And, you kind of had a shared... And there was a lot of crossover, because I like a lot of punk, and I like a lot of quote-unquote college rock or alternative rock, at least from that era, not after the 90s. But so we had, like, a lot in common, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I saw something else that I wanted to answer. High Desert said the evil punkers. There's a hilarious episode of Quincy M.E. Yeah. That's an old ass show where he jumps on stage and begs the punks to stop being punks. Yeah. Oh my god, now I have to see that. Please tell me that somebody has that on YouTube. That's fucking hilarious. But the thing about, I was gonna say, goth characters in movies. I remember when Beetlejuice came out in 1988. When I saw the trailer for that. And that was the first time that I'd seen, like, a goth character that was, like, treated like a person. That was, like, an actual sympathetic...
Which one was that?
Character, Beetlejuice,
yeah.
That had Lydia.
Yeah.
And she was a little bit exaggerated with all the depression and...
Fake depression.
You know what I mean? It's like, my whole life is a dark room. Like, yeah. But we used to say shit like that, but, like... Ironically, like, with just being funny.
Yeah, but Burton's goth, so...
He is, yeah. So he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, he's old.
And he was
school.
making a little bit of a joke about it, too. And we got that. We were just kind of like, yeah, we say shit like that, too. But, like, not seriously, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, but that was the first time. And she, like, looked cool. And she was, like, a cool character. And I was like, wow. That
she was
like
the voice of reason in the show, actually.
Yeah, and that was, like, the first... Because, like, everybody else in there was, like, a complete... Well, was completely...
Yeah.
Her parents were, like, complete assholes. So,
the sequel was pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So I thought that was kind of cool. So that was kind of the first time that I had seen a positive portrayal like that, and I thought that was really cool. Now, like, in the 90s, after, alternative culture went mainstream...
Yeah, goth started to be the heroes.
I blame Nirvana.
Yeah.
But, it's not their fault. But, I kind of feel like it went in a direction where, suddenly goths were kind of cool.
Yeah, they were like the heroes, yeah.
But I didn't like that as much. I thought it was too try hard.
It depended on what movie we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay? Depending on what movie we're talking about. The Matrix was actually the beginnings of fucking goth industrial. They were like the industrial types, or cyber. That was like that. But man, Blade came out, and I was just, yeah, that's a fucking... That's a good goth male character. You know, fucking Snipes. Even though he's not a goth dude.
No.
It's just that he's a fucking warrior, half vampire, daywalker. I thought that shit was fucking great.
That is a great movie.
What's that?
That is a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. And fucking Snipes, man. And it was Snipes in his fucking prime.
I mean, Wesley Snipes is cool as shit.
Yeah.
He's good in everything.
Duke act. And his physicality, his martial arts interest and everything. You know? So he wasn't just a regular drama kid. You know, fucking Snipes was the shit. And but it had a good gothic fucking for the 90s. It had a real good gothic fucking tone to it. And the first movie opened up with fucking Tracy Lords being in it, which would let you know already that it has underground connections, because she was in some underground shit too, and porn.
Well, she was after porn, she was in all them John Waters movies.
Yeah.
And I also love John Waters.
The CG doesn't quite hold up in those movies, man, but fuck it.
That's all right.
Yeah,
That's gonna
the stories hold up.
Yeah.
And then Interview with a Vampire, good gothic movie that came out during that time. That was 90s, wasn't it? Early 90s, right?
Yeah, that was 94.
94? Yeah.
I think that was 94.
Yeah, it was good. But no, they came out with some cool 90s goth shit. The goths started to become more of a fucking exotic fucking thing that they would show you.
Well, I mean, it's in a way it was kind of better because at least people knew what it was then.
Yeah.
Because I think in the 80s, everyone just thought you were a fucking weirdo because they didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, and then Marilyn Manson shows up and fucks it up for about 2 years.
Fucks it all
Fucks it up for about 2 years.
Sorry, Brian Warner. He fucked it all up. That's what his real name is. But 'cause he's from here. We know people that know him. You know what I mean? Or knew him back in the day. So yeah. I don't have anything. Well, I'm not going to say I don't have anything against him personally because he kind of sounds like a dick, but a lot of goths are still mad. Still mad. Not like an everyday thing, but like whenever you're reminded of it, you're like, that motherfucker. It's just kind of like every time. Here's one thing that would annoy us is that every time something new came out that had a goth character in it, you'd just be out and about, you know, at the grocery store or what have you, and some motherfucker would inevitably go, hey, Lydia Dietz, or hey, The Matrix, or hey, like whatever, you know what I mean? Like there would always be one person that would do that, and you'd be like, yeah, okay, you evidently just discovered this. I've been doing this for many years now. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, thank you for notice. I don't know. It's irritating. Like I said, it doesn't make me that mad anymore, but it just kind of makes me roll my eyes still.
Hey, you know another one.
Zach says, would you consider emos to be goth in some form or no?
No, not really.
No. That was a completely different...
Yeah, emos aren't goth.
And that music is not... That music is not even remotely... That's like pop punk. Not even. Like, that's more like pop punk.
Yeah, no, it's not goth.
Which isn't terrible.
Emo could make a good goth if you were to get into goth music. I mean, everybody has a starting point somewhere, but then that's not quite goth.
Because something like you would go in like Hot Topic, and they'd have all the emo shit, and you'd go in there and they'd have all this gothy looking clothing, and the music they were playing, I'm like,
it's like, what is this?
Just sounds like pop music.
Fucking pop music, yeah.
I'm like, this is stupid.
Well,
you guys are so edgy.
It was marketing. They're trying to make money. They're trying to make a
Avril Lavigne. She's so edgy.
Even though I like the way she sounded. I like the way she sounded.
Yeah, but that's like pop music. That's
it's
like
pop. It's pop.
They just played that on the fucking radio.
And then
that's not that weird. That's not weird at all.
No. What was the one that was kind of like Avril Lavigne, but it was harder?
I don't know.
It's like metal.
I don't know what you're thinking of.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know what you're thinking of. Heidi just said my favorite punk movie was Suburbia. Ooh, that was a good one.
Well, another one that we're forgetting, though, is we're forgetting The Crow. And I think The Crow was the one that started it, if I remember correctly. That was where
that was the big one, yeah.
The goth character in that fucking Draven.
Oh, God. Draven. Like, for years, like, dudes were coming to the club, like, with that makeup.
If you came to the club with that fucking Crow outfit, you get the fuck out of here. people would be like, "Oh, not another one."
Somebody would probably slap you.
Come on.
No, we don't do that. Okay, we don't do that. Get out.
But that particular movie was a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Great movie.
But come on now.
And it was one of the first movies that I can remember where you have a modern goth type character, and he's basically the hero. He's an undead hero come back for vengeance. You know, that was pretty good. You had Spawn was the same thing. It had kind of a gothic feel to it, a look. There was another one where like a black CIA assassin comes back from hell. That was a good one. It was kind of like Blade. I think Blade might have been a response to Spawn.
Perhaps.
Spawn did pretty good. I don't know if the CG has held up. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
Probably not.
Yeah. But I remember liking that movie. I had to see that one again.
American Military said, I had a goth friend in the mid-90s who was super pissed when Madonna adopted a goth look for her Frozen video.
She was always goth, though, because she was ripping off Susie from day one.
Oh, she totally was. I kind of like that song.
Yeah.
I don't know. Madonna never made me that mad, I guess. I don't mind some of her shit, honestly. She was, like her old shit. I don't mind some of her old shit.
Madonna was the American...
She was a club girl. She started out as a club girl. Yeah, not the same subculture as us, but...
she had heritage.
Yeah.
She had a heritage.
Yeah, she grew up in the clubs.
She wasn't like a false manufactured corporate star. She really was a club chick. And what was funny, I remember when Madonna first appeared. I was in high school. I liked her, and she didn't really quite fit the mold. She wasn't really very pretty. She was pretty, but she wasn't as pretty as really a corporate person would have been. And what was weird, man, is that I remember her being slightly chubby. And I think she was for the time. But you look at it now, and she's just normal.
Yeah, she's
and it's because back in the 80s,
everyone was
a bunch of coke whores, man. Fucking the bitches were fucking skinny as shit. And it was a lot of fake stars. There was a lot of fake
like
stars.
manufactured
stars. Yeah. So she didn't quite fit the manufactured mold.
Yeah, I will give her that. Like I said, she did have a heritage growing up in club culture.
Yeah, in Michigan. She's from Michigan. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, fucking, and there were girls that looked like her. Physically in Michigan.
Like, that's what's kind of cool about her is just she's kind of just regular looking.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
kind of the weird.
Just kind of regular looking.
Kind of this pie face looking, kind of. It's kind of
the kind of crooked teeth.
Yeah,
or the gap in the teeth and stuff. But that's kind of cool though.
She was sexy.
Yeah,
she was sexy, and she was talented. She was kind of ripping off Susie though a bit, or inspired by.
I mean, Susie is like 4 million times cooler than her.
Yeah, Susie was better.
But.
Yeah,
Susie is like 4 million times cooler than probably anybody.
Susie came up hanging out with the Sex Pistols and shit. With the fucking, what were they called? The Bronsky?
The Bromley
contingent. Yeah, hanging out over in fucking London. Back when that place was, they wouldn't pick up the garbage and it was just fucking, place was falling apart.
I mean, she was a year or two younger than the Sex Pistols, was she not? I think she was like 16.
Yeah.
When she started hanging out with them. Mm-hmm. Billy Idol was in that too.
He was even younger than them, though.
And he was younger than that.
Yeah.
But, and I will say...
And he was considered to be a wannabe by them.
Yeah. Yeah, they thought he was they thought he was a poser.
Yeah.
But,
shit, money-wise, I think he beat them all.
Yeah, he did. They're probably a little jealous about that. But,
fucking Billy was... I
like Billy Idol.
I'm a fucking huge admirer of his work. Saw him live. Saw the Whiplash Smile Tour fucking live. It was one of the best shows. I think Billy Idol live, 87, I think that was. Whiplash Smile Tour, Pine Knob Theater, Michigan. Best show I'd ever seen. The Cult opened. Yeah, Cult.
I wouldn't have minded seeing the Cult in 87.
They were fucking really good. And I got head on that show by a fucking little punk rock chick. Yeah, it was fucking fun.
Do you remember?
I never saw her again, man. I got her phone number, called it, and she gave me a fake number.
Oh.
But she blew me, so.
So it was a wash.
Yeah.
You got something on her.
Yeah, big fucking red hair and shit. I think she had a boyfriend.
Oh.
I think that's what it was.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
But the thing about Susie is that, man, Susie and the Banshees was such a fucking great band. And then she also did Creatures. And she is still around.
Yeah.
And she's old as fuck. Like, she's not old as fuck. She's probably she's in her 60s, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
probably.
Maybe 70s.
No, 60s, I think.
But I think 60s. All of their shit was good.
In her 50s. She's probably still looks pretty
honestly,
good.
Every single Susie and the Banshees album, every single Creatures album, brilliant. They're all fucking good. And I don't think there's a lot of bands that can fucking say that.
But the fishnets, the things in her hair, and a lot of things that Madonna did in the early days, like fucking, Lucky Star and shit, that was Susie. She's being inspired by.
Like I said, I kind of feel like Susie had like more of a elegant kind of thing.
Well, later on.
Yeah.
When she was a kid, she was walking around in fucking t-shirts with the tits cut out of them.
That's
so her
true.
fucking boobs to stick out. She was wild. The bitch was crazy.
Well, like I said.
She's like 17 walking
that was
around
like
with
the
her
punk
fucking
rock
tits out. Yeah,
thing.
maybe 16.
You were just trying to shock everybody.
Yeah, she might have been 16 with her tits hanging out.
What they were trying to do.
There's fucking a lot of black and white photos of her walking around with fucking her tits hanging
with
out.
Her tits hanging out,
circles cut.
Yeah.
They did anything to shock people.
Yeah.
She got in big trouble because she wore a swastika.
Yeah. Well, a lot of punks would do that back then, and the thing about it was that most of them were
trying
not...
to piss you off.
Yeah, most of them were not... Now, there was a subset, because I knew some later on, that were neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
But that was a very small... Most of the punks did that just to make people mad.
Yeah, one thing that they don't understand is, look at... Susie was Jewish.
Yeah.
She was just, she was just trying to get a rise out of people.
Yeah, that's all. That's kind of what that was all about back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, they wanted everyone to be outraged. So they would do whatever it took to do that.
They didn't have anything to lose, and they were getting rich doing it. They got rich doing that. The probably contingent.
I used to laugh at that fucking T-shirt that Nick Cave used to wear back in the old days that said the only good cop is a dead cop.
Yeah.
I used to wear that shit all the time. But yeah, so everybody would like wear shit like that. You know what I mean?
And out of
they were just trying to piss everyone off.
Out of that, more ass fucking rose fucking John Lydon, the most annoying man in rock of all times. But I still love the bitch. I love him, but he was just annoying.
He'd probably be proud that you said that.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah, he's annoying because he would confirm that brain damaged bitch. He had that his brain swelled up. Those rats pissing on him when he was in the hood, and fucking he said it changed him. He felt different after that. Well, yeah, of course he took a head injury. What was that shit that he had? Meningitis.
It might have been
meningitis. Yeah, he said he got it from the rats.
Rats
pissing on his clothes.
Yeah.
When he was a little kid.
I still remember
made his eye crooked.
A review of a PIL album.
Yeah.
Probably have been the early one, like the metal box kind of era.
Yeah.
And I remember a line from it. It's like, he knew he wanted to annoy, but he wasn't really sure how to do it yet. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Good albums, man. Fucking.
I like PIL.
Album?
Actually, I really like the Sex Pistols. PIL were, I think, objectively a better band because they were more experimental.
I had one called an album called Flowers of Romance. It was a fucking.
That was a good, yeah.
It was just a little EP, and then I had album, and then I had another one called Happy, and then fucking I had the other one that came out after that. Fucking shit. It's hard. Man, I can't remember the names of all those albums now. Happy was one of them.
Yeah,
and
with
Seattle. Was the other one called Seattle?
Well, no, because that was
a song on Happy.
That's a song.
What was the one where it had kind of a digitized fucking emblem on it? I think it was like their third.
I think it was just called. Wasn't there one that was just called 9?
9. I think this might be just been called 9.
Because I think I had that one, and I think I remember that.
It was pretty good.
Cover looked like. I didn't like that one as much. That was one of their later. I mean, later is then like late 80s or early 90s.
Yeah, I remember what it looked like, what the album looked like, but I think
that might have been 9.
Yeah. Yeah, during that time I was buying those Gene Loves Jezebel albums too.
Yeah.
Discover.
Yeah, I had that one.
And fucking
on vinyl. I think I sold it.
The Immigrant. That was a good one too.
Yeah. They're kind of underappreciated, I feel.
Yeah, from Wales. I met one of them. I just don't know which one it was. They're twins, you know.
Well, hello there says, the Ali Sheedy character from Breakfast Club was the first time I remember seeing a goth character portrayed in film. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about her. Because that was 84. The thing about it, like, she was clearly supposed to be a goth character. She wasn't super coded like that, I guess, because she didn't... I don't know. Like, I guess she didn't, like, talk. But I liked that character. Like, and... I kind of feel like if you ask, like, old-ass goths like me, how much they hate the ending of that. Like, I love The Breakfast Club. I do. That's a great fucking movie. But did she really need a fucking makeover? I feel like, come on. They'd have to put her in pink and... No, she didn't need that. I like that she kind of stood up for herself at least a little bit. Like, Molly Ringwald is trying to do some shit. It's like, well, looks a lot better than all that black shit. She's like, hey, I like all that black shit. And I'm like, yeah, you tell her. But then they fucked her up anyway. I liked all that black shit too. So, you know, I don't know. But yeah, some people get a little mad about that. And then she hooks up with the fucking jock. Which normally would not happen. Normally would not happen. Let's see. Jenny, have you ever seen the Vampire Assassin action horror Razorblade Smile with the great Eileen Daly? I've heard of that, but I don't think I've ever seen it. Well, hello there says, the older I get, the more insufferable I find the kids from the Breakfast Club. I haven't got to quite... I mean, I'm 52. I haven't got quite to that stage yet. But... Because I still remember... I mean, it was a long time ago. But I still remember what it was like to feel like that. And I don't know. All teenagers are insufferable, really. So... Yeah, John Cora said Breakfast Club is a great time capsule of a movie. It is. I've seen it like a million times.
Well, that's like a cultural icon.
Yeah.
That movie, you know what I mean?
And it's weird because like every now and then...
That's a Gen X movie.
Every now and then, though, like I'll quote a line from it and someone in their fucking 20s knows what I'm talking about.
Well, I've heard that the younger people are going back to the 80s type stuff and watching all the classics and listening to all the classic music. Because they have a cultural connection to it. Because the new stuff is kind of shallow and corporate and kind of like made for everybody, which means it's made for nobody type of deal. That's what I've been hearing. And they actually had a German word to express what they're feeling. And I don't remember what that German word was, but what it means is a nostalgia for a time that you never lived in.
Yeah. I know what word you're talking about, but I can't think of it.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. They said that a lot of younger people in their 20s have that because...
German's great, man. They have words for fucking everything.
They have words for something, yeah.
Like, because you're like, yeah, we don't have a word for that, but we know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, they're living in an internet world where everything's wide open, so everything's for everybody, and nothing's really for you.
Yeah.
It's public.
Yeah.
Well, the shit from in the analog era... that was more narrow band, you could identify with that better because it was more about talking to you. Yeah.
And it was very clear. It wasn't super clear, but it was clearer. Yeah. Like, this is for this subculture, this is for this subculture. Like, these kind of people like this and these kind of people like that. And it's not really like that anymore, which I think in a way is kind of better. Well, like I said, nowadays everything is up there. So it's just kind of like anybody of any age can stumble across something from, it's like, hey, here's a song from 1982, and if you don't know it's from 1982 or you don't care it's from 1982, you're just kind of like, hey, that's just a cool fucking song.
So whereas like I feel like today with the shit that they're making for the movies, I don't think so.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay, that's how.
No. That's not at all what I said.
Because I'm thinking of Marvel movies. I was like, those are for everybody and nobody at the same time.
No. That's not at all what I said. Okay. I don't think you were listening to what I was saying. Okay. No, I was saying that nowadays it's easier for people to come across stuff from any era.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Without associating it with any particular era. So that's why you're saying
it's better today.
That's,
Yeah, it's better
so
today.
I said,
you have access
yeah,
to
that's
more.
What I meant.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because it's like I said, I could just find, and well, I mean, it's kind of hard for me to say because like even when I was younger, I liked shit from, I liked horror movies from like the 1930s. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't care what era it came from. Like, if it's cool, I don't give a shit. Yeah. And I kind of feel like...
And I still felt that was for me, watching Black Cat.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. They're talking to me.
Yeah, I'm like... Because, like I said, when I was really young, it's like, I just like creepy shit. I don't give a shit what era it comes from. If it's good and it's creepy, it's like, I don't care, like, if it's old or not. But, I don't know. So I kind of feel like that distinction of, oh, this is your parents' shit, or I kind of feel like that's largely gone away. Maybe not. Maybe just in.
Let me clarify.
Our kind of little bubble.
Let me clarify. if you ask me, the age of reason began with fucking Gen X. Because I can go back and watch some of the shit that my parents came up with, like Rebel Without a Cause. And I don't understand what the fuck they're talking about. Because I think
it's like, what are you crying about again?
I think their values were kind of delusional.
All right, let me pee.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Because it's like, he sees his dad in the apron. And, whoa, Dad! What are you trying to say? Trying to say your dad's a fag? What's up?
Like, so your dad
I don't know what he's talking about.
Want to mess his clothes up.
Yeah. And he's just like, well, hey, it's just whatever, So I really didn't get.
So in that way, like, his character was a lot more square. Than the dad.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Fucking James Dean's character was a fucking square ass fucking boomer. And so how is that being a rebel, His dad was just fucking home from work, and he's going to fucking cook because the wife is busy. He puts the apron on so he doesn't get his fucking clothes dirty. As he sees, oh, Dad, oh. And I'm like, what the fuck? There was a lot of shit in that I'm going like, nah, they were kind of built different back then. I don't know what the fuck this problem is. And there was like some other stuff in Rebel Without a Cause. Reason why I was watching Rebel Without a Cause when I was in drama program. Julia Salisbury, that was my professor, she says, you remind me so much of James Dean. And I was like, who's that? Because you don't know who James Dean is? Because you look just like him. When I was young, I did kind of look like James Dean. So I watched some of these movies. I watched fucking that one, Rebel Without a Cause, and I was watching another one where he was working on a farm, and they just said nothing to me. And I was just amazed that these were something that the boomer generation really, they were like fucking earth-shattering movies for them. They were like cultural icons. But I'm watching them and they were just kind of like shallow and meaningless, and they were pontificating on things that I really was like values that I really didn't even understand them. I didn't really understand the moral of the story. So it was just kind of a weird, But I'd go back, watch Breakfast Club and Generation X shit, and I think our values were more universal versus
maybe that's what it is.
Boomer values. Boomer values were fucking perverted and hard to understand.
I kind of feel like largely, well, the whole boomer thing, they were just all about appearances. Like, as long as you looked okay, then you could do whatever you wanted.
They were worried about what color clothes you were wearing.
Yeah. But they were doing all kind of depraved shit, like, on the down low. But it's like, as long as the front was good, then everything was fine.
Then you go back.
Which is fucked up.
You go back, as a biker, I watch biker movies too. So go back and watch The Wild One with Marlon Brando.
Yeah, I remember that
one. Marlon Brando, his sexy ass.
He was pretty sexy when he was young.
Very sexy when he was young. Marlon Brando and The Wild Ones kind of etched out the fucking rebel male sexuality icon that was adopted by the gay scene with leather daddies. The leather daddy, that all came from The Wild One. And they looked great in that movie. I went back and watched it, and there's just nothing to that movie. Nothing to it. This dude is fucking... Brando's doing his thing, okay? There's a girl that's interested in him. There's all this kind of shit. Dad doesn't want him to see her. And I'm like, what's wrong with this dude? They're treating him like he's a fucking criminal. He races motorcycles.
Yeah, that's like literally it.
He hasn't done anything wrong.
He's not a serial killer.
Yeah. Well, why are they treating it...
He's not a heroin addict.
Yeah. And I'm like,
he's not a pedophile.
He was in the bar drinking, but he's over 21. Even the other motherfuckers are doing that.
Everybody drinking.
So what's the problem? He's got a motorcycle.
People drank more back then.
So
actually,
so it was a very superficial thing because he's talking about how dejected is and how everybody hates him and that he's such a bad guy. But I didn't see it.
I'm like,
well, how many people did you kill?
Yeah,
that didn't even fucking come to their mind, and that wasn't even. Okay, how many dudes did you kill? How many women did you rape? Well, then you ain't bad. Bad dudes do that. What are you talking about? You got to be a fucking criminal to be bad.
Then you're fine.
But that was not the 50s fucking mentality.
Yeah, it's like, man, if you just wore something a little bit
weird, you were bad. if you wore different
then you were
clothes,
some kind of delinquent.
Yeah, which I was just
which
like,
is hilarious.
I was like, fuck these squares.
But
man.
see, that's kind of why. And I think a lot of them, like now that they're super old, like now have the same mentality. Because like, man, they see, like I don't remember me personally having this happen, but I hear about it all the time. Especially people that still look kind of alternative, like that have tattoos or different color hair. And especially if they have kids or something like that, and they're like in the grocery store, they got a kid in a stroller, they're just minding their own beeswax, and some old person will come up and like start judging them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for shit like that. And I'm just like, what? Like, who died and made you arbiter of anything?
Well, it's very much a culture of appearances.
Yeah. But they were doing like horrible shit.
Victor says, why is Gen X the forgotten generation? Well, it's because we got passed over.
Because we wanted it that way.
We got passed over.
Because we wanted to be left alone, goddammit.
There weren't as many of us as there were boomers, and the boomers are still in power. They're still in power.
Fucking die already.
Yeah. You're starting to get some Gen X people in power. We were the reasonable generation.
You know, there's a website called the Boomer Death Clock, right?
Yeah, you're counting off
like when the last one's gonna die.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of fucked up, but and I'm not saying it's like I'm not picking on all boomers because obviously I know some boomers that are totally fine, but we kind of like to pick on them. Like my parents are boomers, but they're pretty cool. You know what I mean? They didn't end up like that completely. So, but there is a reason. Why a lot of people can't fucking stand them, because there's a stereotype, and stereotypes are bad, but in their case there's a reason why it's a stereotype. And like I said, I kind of feel like it's because their whole thing, everything was appearances. And it is funny like watching, because I see a lot of not only old movies but old educational shorts and stuff like that, because I was, everybody knows I'm a big MST3K fan, and they do like a lot of educational shorts from that time period, and the shit they put in there like back in the 50s and stuff was hilarious. Like all the shit they worried about, the shit they obsessed over, it just means nothing, but they were just so worried about appearances, and they didn't really seem to care about anything substantive. And it's just so, like I said, because Gen X was raised by boomers, we were kind of like, man, this is fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? And we did not like it.
We got passed over,
so we were just kind of like,
and then what happened is millennials ended up all in the corporate jobs, so they're working them to the bone like slaves. And right now Gen Z is getting passed over. I've heard that Gen X and Gen Z are very similar, that we're non-believers, that cynical, more independent, less conformist, and pissed off. Gen X was pissed off.
Yeah, we're still pretty cranky.
But Gen X was very self-sufficient. We didn't need their system. We would fucking do it our own way.
Well, a lot of us were latchkey kids.
Yeah, we grew up feral.
We kind of were left on to our own devices.
Yeah, that's the thing that's a little
time.
bit different between Gen Z and Gen X. Gen Z, they're scared to go outside. Their parents wouldn't let them go outside, afraid that they'd get nabbed by the fucking molesters. Okay, the Chesters. Man, we were running around wild in fucking L.A. when Chesters were everywhere. Okay, fucking, we just didn't get hit. You know, Chesters were everywhere.
I mean, you were just lucky. A lot of kids did get hit.
It was more dangerous back then.
It was
much more dangerous.
We
just didn't really know.
You didn't realize because you didn't have internet. You didn't have 24-hour news.
From the age of 8, I could leave home. My only rules was I had to be back before the street lights were on.
Yeah, that was a lot of people's
rules. If the street lights were on, you had to come home.
Yeah, it was dinner time.
Because they had street lights. So, okay, all right. I'd be gone all fucking day.
Yeah.
No cell phones.
No.
I was running around packs of little boys and packs of dogs.
You just go out on your bike.
Yeah. Little boys and packs of dogs following the little boys. Yeah. Wherever we went, we had dog pack with us. That's fucking hilarious.
My brother would be out in the woods with his friends setting shit on fire.
Yeah, do that too. Set shit on fire. Stealing gasoline out of your dad's fucking lawnmower.
He's 4 years younger than I am.
Going down to the flood control systems down California and fucking, back in the day. or burning down half of Mississippi. That too, for the summers.
Yeah.
And then the girls were the same way. Little girls run around. They weren't fucking sheltered. We were feral.
Yeah.
Which made us independent. And I think brave.
Yeah.
We're not afraid of anything, you know. I've been hearing fucking some of these Gen Z kids, man, online. I'm looking at them, and everything's about risk avoidance. Oh, well, riding a motorcycle, that's dangerous. Oh, no, hell no. Oh, doing this. Oh, taking drugs, that's dangerous. Oh, doing that, that's dangerous. We didn't give a shit. Yeah, it's dangerous. Do it. Toughen up.
We'll find out.
You'll figure it out. Now, I'm not saying go out and do heroin. That's not what we're talking about. You know, but fucking,
please don't do that.
Yeah. Some of that shit you don't want to fuck with. But
I'll fuck with things up to a point.
Up to a point. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not, I'm an old person now. I'm not like a teenager. Even when I was a teenager, I was kind of like, yeah, that's a little, I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? That looks like more risk than I want to take. But, we all did stupid shit when we were younger. She didn't really think about it. Florence says, Florence Lupin is here saying she's going to listen to us while she's doing a painting. Okay, and she says, what are the odds that we're talking about the goth subculture while I'm doing a commission for a Hellraiser art piece?
Oh, awesome.
I mean, that is awesome.
Must be doing Pinhead.
Hellraiser is a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
I love Clive Barker. He was the guy that made me want to write horror. I read Stephen King before that, and I love Stephen King, but when I read Clive Barker, probably younger than I should have, I was like, I want to do what this dude does.
I'm going to fucking ask you guys if you recognize who that is.
Oh,
you recognize
who that out.
You recognize who that cute little girl is? That's Jen. That's Jen as a baby.
That is me.
There's Jen right there on the floor playing with her toys.
And my brother.
With her brother.
And my brother.
Right, this is some Eric. Feral kid shit. And there's a couple years later. There's Jen.
I think I was 8.
Yeah, look how cute she is.
Look at my little teeth.
Yeah, little teeths.
My little teeth.
You got a little southern dress on.
That I think was a hand-me-down from my cousin who was 2 years older.
Yeah.
That's my mama.
Yeah, pregnant mom.
She was pregnant with my sister Amanda.
Yeah, she's cool as shit. Fucking, that's my girl right there.
Yeah, my mom's.
I take care of her mom. Until I see her.
That's me in the middle, and that's my brother Eric. I don't know where the fuck that is. It looks like some theme park or something.
Yeah, it looks like a theme park or a zoo.
Might have been a zoo. Yeah.
Zoo. Yeah.
Not real sure. I don't really remember where that was. High Desert said, this was a while back, I never thought of Marilyn Manson as a goth. I hope not, because he wasn't. More like an Alice Cooper updated ripoff. Yeah, I mean, I always thought of him as like, he was trying to make industrial music mainstream, but in the most annoying edgelordy way possible.
He was goth industrial.
Like he's like he was just trying to do shit on purpose. Why I say edgelordy is like he's just doing shit on purpose to like, ooh, this is gonna freak normies out or something like that. Like he was doing shit like that.
He was very similar to Nine Inch Nails, which wasn't a bad band. They're good.
I actually didn't mind.
They were just mainstream.
Yeah, they went mainstream pretty early.
Well, I think they started mainstream actually.
You know what? I saw Nine Inch Nails in 1990 in St. Petersburg, and they opened for Peter Murphy. And it was hilarious because Peter Murphy's album Deep had just come out, and it was it was kind of big like in the alternative scene because it's Peter Murphy. He was in Bauhaus, so and that was a great album. And he was looking like peak Peter Murphy.
Yeah.
Although I would argue that peak Peter Murphy was probably 1981, but still he looked really good in 1990. And so
the Deep album.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked good.
I mean, it's a great album. It's not as weird as Bauhaus's stuff. It's pretty. I mean, if you listen to it now, it's pretty
tame.
Yeah, it's pretty poppy.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's a good album. And so we went to see him. We were in the front row, me and my friend Christy. And Nine Inch Nails opened, and every single fucker in that theater, it was the Mahaffey Theater, when Nine Inch Nails were on, just sat in their seats and stared at them.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like very, very funny. I knew who they were because my friend Dave had bootlegged Pretty Hate Machine for me because I was broke as shit in 1990. And so my friend Dave would get all the shit and then he would record it for me. Or I had a friend named Eric who owned a record store on Beach Street in Daytona called Criminal Records. And he knew that I was really into Bauhaus and all that kind of shit. So it was like, so if something good came in, he knew I didn't have any money. So he would record it for me. And so I would come in and he'd be like, hey, I made you a tape. You know what I mean? So that's how I got all the good shit because I didn't have to pay for it. So, because I had connections. But yeah, it was just funny that Pretty Hate Machine didn't really hit until a bit after that, I feel like. That's a great album. I still like Pretty Hate Machine, but
yeah. It hit slowly. I was in the Army.
It hit slowly because, like I said, when I saw them live, nobody was like into it. They were just like, "Would you just get off so Peter Murphy can come on, please?" Yeah. You know what I mean? Like everyone was just kind of waiting for them to finish.
They're talking about your hair in there.
Where? Oh, I got like way behind.
Oh, your pictures, yeah.
Where?
Oh, there's a whole bunch of fucking
I know.
Comments about how cute you were and you had auburn hair, and Zach says he'd do anything to your hair like that.
Yeah.
She had like a strawberry blonde hair.
Yeah.
Her mom's a blonde.
Yeah. My dad had black hair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gray now. But he had black hair. My grandma had super black hair. And my great-grandma had super black hair. I did not get that. Yeah. I got red hair, which I'm not entirely sure where that came from. I am my dad. I'm not the milkman's daughter or anything like that, but it's just kind of like, because all my siblings, my two brothers, my brother Eric has kind of brownish hair. My sister Amanda has brownish hair. My brother Brian has black hair, and I had red hair for some reason. Not really entirely sure how that happened. Yeah. I have cousins that have red hair, though, so...
It's very common in the South. My dad's from Mississippi. He was a ginger. But I was born with real dark hair with red highlights. My mother had black hair. But my mother has Middle Eastern roots.
Yeah.
Her father was part Assyrian Christian. Run around Iraq and stuff. So my granddad, on my mother's side, he looked kind of Middle Eastern. Or Greek. He looked Greek. You know how Dimitri Pappas, how he looks? My granddad looked like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dimitri's pretty Greek.
Yeah, he's real Greek. I fuck with him all the time. Trying to get ass off of him. I said, "Oh man, you're Greek, bro." And he's laughing.
You know how that goes.
He's a Greek Orthodox. He's a Greek Orthodox Christian.
And he's also a goth DJ.
And goth is shit. Yeah. Beautiful wife, bunch of kids. How many kids do you have? 3?
Yeah. How many kids
or 2 of them are his. I think one of them was from before, right? Or
yeah,
just one before.
She had a daughter
from before. Who looks just like our friend fucking. She looks just like.
And
fucking
she's like
Ross.
in her
she looks just like
20s now, right?
Looks like Laura Ross, who's a friend of ours. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. They're like, "Are you guys related?"
But they have 2 kids, and one of them is grown. Like one of them's 18 or 19.
They're all gone now. They're all out.
Yeah, I think they're all grown. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe they just have one. Yeah, they just have one.
Yeah.
But she had one from a prior, so they're both grown, which is crazy because
she was.
You would never like if you met them.
Yeah.
You would never think that they had 2 kids that were grown. Yeah. Like 2 daughters that were grown and out of the house.
No, you never. I'll show you guys. And
you would never know.
Dimitri's wife is also named as Jen.
Yeah.
And she's the lead singer of a band called fucking 13th Angel.
Yeah.
And she can do operatic vocals and everything. Okay. Let me see. I think I've got pictures of her and Laura from that one photo.
Florence says, "Oh, I'm a dude." LOL. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Florence. Also, doing a sexy female Pinhead with someone's original character in the costume. Ooh, that's pretty cool, actually. Like, let us see it. Like, put it on our page or something like that. Yeah, they're all talking about my hair when I was little.
Yeah.
Everybody used to comment on my hair back then because it was real long. For a while, it was down to my butt. And then when I got a little bit older, like when I was a teenager, I'm like, fuck this shit. It was just because it was just not... Because my hair is super, super thick and super fine. It's like baby hair. So it's just like, when it's long, it's just... You go like that, and it's just knots. And I used to cry because my mom used to have to like lay me on the back of the bed and she used to have to comb the knots out because it would just knot up. So when I was a teenager, I was like, please fucking cut it off. Like, I got sick of dealing with it. My mom cried when she cut my hair off. She did. Like, I grew it out longer, as time went on. I think she kept it. She might still have it. I don't know.
All right. The one in the red is Jen.
Yeah.
Dimitri's wife.
That was taken at our old house. Yeah. Actually.
Yeah, and then the other dark-haired one is
that's Laura.
Laura, yeah.
That's our friend
Laura Ashley. Yeah, and that's the one we're always talking about how fucking pretty she is and how nice she is. She's extremely nice. How there's all these... Everybody says, all these pretty girls, they're all bitches. You see that? You haven't met Laura. Laura's sweet as hell.
Actually, you haven't met most of our friends.
Yeah.
Most of whom are beautiful. Yeah. And are super, super cool.
Super nice, yeah.
We don't know any bitches.
Yeah. No, if they're bitches, we don't hang out with them.
Yeah. We don't know any bitches.
We're like, fuck them. Yeah.
So, isn't that funny? Because, you remember that dude Mike that I used to date?
Yeah.
And the first time that I met him in person, because we talked online for a little while, and then, we went out to, what the fuck was that bar? Peacock Room. I don't know if it's there anymore. Yeah. It was kind of a fancy cocktail bar. And so we met up there, and I had never met him in person before. And he was like, he knew what I looked like, but he'd never seen me in person, so he was just kind of
You didn't meet him in the club?
No.
Where'd you meet him on? Dating?
Online.
App? Online?
No, on just Facebook.
Just on Facebook? Okay.
We were Facebook friends because we had some mutuals.
Yeah.
But we just started talking one day because we both got divorced.
About was fucking. He was a cool dude. He's probably like 6'4".
6'5" he was.
6'5". He was huge.
Yeah, he was a huge fucking.
Good looking dude, man. Fucking. He and I were buddies.
He's funny as shit.
Yeah, fucking. This is before me and Jen were like a thing. We messed around, but we were like friends. And me and Jen were wingmanning each other.
Ooh.
We liked each other, but
for a little while.
Yeah, but for a little while, yeah. But no, I liked the guy she's talking about. He would have been good, but he just wasn't ready.
Well, he had just got divorced too.
He just got divorced too, yeah.
And he was a lot younger than me.
They were both divorced. She was divorced, and I was just.
I was freshly divorced. He was freshly divorced.
Yeah.
So we kind of bonded over that.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Well, why don't we go out?" And I'm just like, "Okay." And so I didn't realize he was 11 years younger than me.
Yeah, he was a youngster.
Until later.
We didn't look young. He didn't act young.
Yeah, I never felt like he was younger. He just made some comment, and I was just like, "Wait, how old are you?" So, but he said, one of the things that he said on that first date that I still remember was he's like, he's like, you're not like a pretty girl. And I said, you mean I'm not a bitch? He's like, yes, that's exactly what I mean.
That's funny, yeah.
So I thought that was like, that was pretty funny that he said that. Because I know that that's a thing. You know what I mean? That, the hot, crazy index and all that kind of stuff. And I think people assume that women that are really good looking, I'm not talking about me, I'm just talking about, people in general. Women that are really good looking are going to be assholes. And some of them are. I'm not saying that. But, I mean, honestly, we know a lot of really, really beautiful women that are super nice. And a lot of them are, super nerdy and are, into nerdy shit. Like our friend Laura, who is one of the most beautiful women ever. She's just ridiculously beautiful, but she is super nice and super humble, and she's really into conventions, man. Her and her boyfriend Adam will go all out on fucking costumes. Okay, so the two of them and a friend of theirs who I don't know, they went to Comic-Con a couple years back. And I think the picture that they took went viral because it was the best costume ever. They dressed up you guys remember Superman when they sent the criminals into the zone or whatever? What the fuck did they call that? Tom knows. In the pane of glass. And so the three of them dressed up like the criminals from Superman. And they had this big pane of glass like that. And they all took that picture like that. And it was so fucking funny. Oh my God, it was awesome.
What they call it, the Phantom Zone.
The Phantom Zone.
They're in the Phantom Zone.
It was the something zone. I was Forbidden Zone? No, that's Planet of the Apes.
Phantom Zone.
So, but yeah, and it's just I think that picture went a little bit viral because I saw it in other places. I'm like, hey, I know them. But I was like, oh my God, that's fucking brilliant. So they go out, we saw them at a horror convention, and I think it was around, it must have been around the holidays, because they both did Krampi, and man, they, like I said, they went all fucking out. It looked really, really good. It looked really good. So, yeah. So she will just, like she's into all that fucking nerdy shit. But she's, like, super, super sweet. She's been over to our house, like, lots and lots of times. Like, her and Jen, and Dimitri and Adam, and our friend Brian, who is a photographer, they all used to come over every now and then. And we do, like, we'd make all this food, and we'd have booze, and Dimitri would play music, and we'd take pictures, and super fun. We've been saying we're gonna do that again, but we haven't done it yet.
Yeah, more and more people showing up.
They haven't even been to our new house. No one's been here. I know we kind of live out in the middle of nowhere, but you know.
Guamocun is there. I've never heard that.
Yeah. They've been in here lots of times. Okay, lots of times.
Okay. Might be kind of drunk.
Might be. CB said, I met Marilyn Manson. He was an asshole, and we didn't like him. I've heard he's an asshole. Florence says, Marilyn Manson, I like some of his songs, but I'm not super big on him. I like his covers. He does good covers. That said, I really liked his collaboration.
Beautiful People was good. He did have some good of his own songs.
But like I said, there's still that stink of ruining shit for everybody.
He got us in a lot of trouble because we were just walking around and the people throw fucking shit out of the car windows. Marilyn Manson! To be fucking throwing shit.
I was in line at the castle.
We're not Marilyn Manson fans. What are you talking about?
I was at the castle one time. In the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like waiting to get in. And some normies who had somehow found the club, because it's a little bit off the beaten track, you know what I mean? Not as much anymore, but it was back then. So you had to like look for it. So these normies were there, and they decided they were going to come in the club and slum, I guess. And like they started yelling, like, "Woo, Marilyn Manson!" And we're just all looking at him like,
"Fuck Marilyn Manson!
Fuck
Who the fuck's
off.
that dude?" Yeah.
Like we don't like that. You know what I mean? So it's like,
it was another time. It was another era.
We're just like, here we go.
Man, I can't wait to go out tomorrow.
I know. I'm just like,
I'm ready to dance.
Me too.
It's just turning 10.
We had a good time last week with Anastasia.
Yeah.
Man, she's like, man, I had such a good time. She had never been to Barbarella at that location.
Yeah.
Because it's at a new location now. Because she lives in New York City.
She's in New York, yeah.
And so like she was like, well, usually you go to the clubs in New York, it's like it's so crowded, like you can't even dance because you're just kind of like, excuse me, you know what I mean? Where it's like last week was good, but it's like a lot of the regulars were not there. Well, not a lot of the regulars, but probably like 25% of the regulars were not there. So it's always fun though. I always have a good time when I go there.
I had good times in New York when I went, but Florida to me has a higher end feeling. There's a lot more space. There's a lot more places to go. Population density is lower. It feels more like a tropical paradise. It feels more like a vacation zone, which is what it is. It has that. Jen doesn't really feel it because she was from here.
I'm from here, so it's kind of old to me.
Coming here, I'm like, oh.
And I'm not a tropical person.
It's kind of it's kind of like a breath of fresh air. Like, oh man, fucking space, you know.
I'm more like a wintry day person.
And it has a lot of the places we go kind of have a higher end feeling. Most of them. Mannequins not so much, but it's still nice. A lot nicer than Detroit and fucking like the seedy places in New York. A lot better than that, but it's just kind of a more open, kind of freer.
Yeah.
And it feels less dangerous, even though it's probably more dangerous.
I think the crime is higher here than New York City.
The kind of people probably more dangerous. It's just that the danger is going to be different.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, okay. So the thing about mannequins, it's not a hole. It's actually like a nice.
It's nice.
It's a
nice
horror.
area.
It's a horror themed. I think he wanted it. I'm not entirely sure. I never asked him.
Yeah.
But he's kind of into goth and horror movies and stuff. And I think he wanted it to be mannequins because of Tourist Trap.
Kind of like Tourist Trap.
I think that's what he was vibing with, because he was trying to make it like a horror theme bar.
It kind of has that.
Which it kind of has that a little bit.
It's a cool bar.
It kind of went in a more, well, not so much mannequins, but now sex dolls kind of direction.
Yeah. Well, that was in there too. You can go on Facebook and find it. It's called Mannequins, Manikins.
Yeah, it's not
in
spelled
Sanford.
like actual.
And
yeah,
you'll find it. It's there.
There's pictures all over
pictures
the
of
place.
girls. It's got stripper poles.
Yeah, there's a stripper pole.
And you'll see girls on there, and they're not strippers. That's just fucking girls that showed up, jumping on the pole, and it's got a back patio, and it's got a dance floor. It's going to get a little bigger when the business next to it he
wants to buy the next building over, which he's already done once, because the place used to be half the size.
Now it's twice, yeah.
And then he bought the building next door, knocked the wall out, and made it twice as big. And now he's talking about, because we were talking about Heather, the bartender and manager, last time we were there, and she said, he wants to buy that place too, like when their lease runs out, and knock the wall out and make it bigger again. Yeah. So that's what. So I mean, he's doing really well.
Yeah.
Not as
high end as fucking the Trap. The Trap has a nice high end feel to it.
Yeah, the Trap,
because it was made to be like that. And it used to be a strip club.
Used to be, but used to be an Orlando icon called the Booby Trap, which was a strip club that had two big concrete tits
on the top.
On the top.
Yeah.
Or something that suggested tits. You could see it from I-4 because I remember it as a kid. Like,
classy as fuck. But
that building is gone now.
Yeah.
They tore it down. But
strip clubs are just not. There's not in demand. Nobody.
But I like that the Trap. It's technically called the Axe Trap, but they usually call it the Trap. And they homaged the Booby Trap. They still have a neon sign that says the Booby Trap and a stripper pole just tucked in the corner.
Yeah.
So you can do like photo ops there.
I go up and dance on it.
And Tom will get up on the stripper pole like every now and then, but it's not like super obtrusive. Nah. They just kind of put it as. You know, we know this was an iconic location in Orlando history, and they're just paying homage to that, and I thought that was kind of cool. But the place itself, the outside of it kind of looks like, it just kind of looks like a corporate building. It's like gray with like the rectangular windows. But the inside, it's kind of like, what would you call it? It's a bar. It's kind of a restaurant, because they do have food, but half of it is they have this big long thing where you can, throw axes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the other half, I think when they're not doing club nights, I think they have tables over there. So I think it is technically like a restaurant bar, like a bar and grill. But at night, they pull all the tables out and like put them away. So there's like a big dance floor. There's like, like big TVs on the wall and stuff like that where they play videos and stuff. So you can go in there, it's a big dance floor. So it is kind of, they have like craft cocktails and like kind of fancy little food shit and everything like that. So it's kind of like higher end a little bit. So you don't get, and it's not downtown. It's not in an area where there are other clubs. Like behind it, well, there's not really much around it. Behind it, there's a 7-Eleven with a car wash. And then there's a salon, but it's closed. So there's nothing around it that's open, like at that time of night. So you don't get, like I said, you don't get people wandering in. You have to go there on purpose.
Yeah.
It's not in a walking area. So it's still like fairly safe. We've never really had any problem there.
We say safe, man. We're not talking about foot traffic. Is in the kind of clubs that we go to, you don't want random motherfuckers showing up.
No,
because they won't understand what they're seeing. The people are too fucking wild, all right, and they're too far outside the normal boundaries. Okay, they're like, what kind of club are we in? Normies would sometimes freak out over the stupid shit that happens at our club, but for us, that shit's been going on for 20, 30 years. We're like, just laugh at it,
Yeah, like no one cares. Like I said, we've all known each other forever.
I don't care if Dr. Michael comes in and starts dancing like a freak and tries to bite me on the dick. I just laugh.
Well, he didn't try. He did bite you on the dick.
Yeah, he did bite me on the dick. My fault, actually, though.
Yeah, you did have that coming.
It was my fault. I tried to play chicken with him. I was dropping. He's getting all sexy. I said, go ahead, drop my drawers. And he goes, okay, you can't play chicken with a dude like that. And he fucking bit me. Threw my fucking underwear right on my dick. It's like, ah! Everybody's laughing.
I was like, what do you think was going to happen?
He let go, though, and I was like, it's like, okay, I ain't playing chicken with you anymore. Fucking bitch. So, but I known that dude for fucking, 15, 20 years?
Yeah, a long time.
So,
like I said, he's a fucking legend.
He's just fucking crazy. He's a crazy-ass veterinarian.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a veterinarian. He's a very good veterinarian, actually.
Yeah, I've had problems with animals. I call him and he'll tell, oh, we'll do this and do this. I have this drug over here I can give you, that kind of shit. He's trying to fucking heal the damn squirrel. He goes, that squirrel's going to die. And it did die. You're doing that shit over the phone. Yeah. He says they fall out of trees all the time. They hit their heads and they die. Yeah. I found a fucking squirrel, fucking head in the dirt. The fucking tail was twitching, and it was covered with ants. So I fucking picked it up and fucking got the ants off of it, and those fucking had this. And he was chirping and making noises. I kept him in a little tray, tried to make him comfortable, and fucking called Dr. Matt. He's just like, excuse me, what's his name? I just called his name, not Dr. Matt.
Dr. Michael.
Dr. Michael. Dr. Matt was another dude I worked for. Dr. Michael, and fucking, he's going like, oh yeah, that happens a lot. They fall out of trees. They hit their heads on limbs on the way down. And fucking, because they usually die. He says, I had some shit. He goes, you put this ointment on there. It's kind of like an anti-inflammatory. I had some from the horse business. He goes, it might help. And that thing would fucking get up and start chirping and yelling at the bars. And remember the cat was trying to go in and get it.
Yeah. They lived though.
Yeah. The cats lived, but the squirrel didn't.
No, those squirrels lived. We put them back in the tree.
Not that squirrel. The squirrel that fell out of the tree.
Oh, we were talking about
at Sanford.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the ones that fell out of the tree in the hurricane.
They lived.
Yeah, they lived. They were
no,
okay.
Don't you remember the one that fucking fell out of the tree that was covered in ants? On our walk, we found it.
Oh,
in Sanford.
That's right. Oh, yeah. That's right. We had a locker in the bathroom.
Locked her in the bathroom
because Pookie was trying to eat her.
Pookie was screaming to try to get at that. She could smell that thing.
She's like, let me in.
Yeah, I want to see it.
I'm going to eat it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
that's right, I forgot about that.
It only lasted another 4 or 5 hours and it died.
I had forgot about that.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the ones that we found after the hurricane.
They were cold.
Like they were all right.
Yeah, they were cold as shit.
We brought them in like for a day or two and wrapped them in blankets and gave them some.
It wasn't a day or two. It was really only a couple hours.
Yeah, I gave them some peanuts and they perked up after a couple hours and we put them back.
They were fucking cold as shit, fucking wet.
They got thrown out of the tree by the hurricane.
They were paralyzed. You could walk up and just grab them, and they're just like, oh.
They were like, it's freezing.
And we tried them off. We got video of it.
Yeah,
it's on my YouTube.
Poor little baby.
It's on my Facebook. Drying them off.
Man, Pookie like parked herself like outside because we wrapped them all up in towels and put them in the cat carrier, and Pookie was like just parked herself out there, just like when they come out.
Well, when they were out on the ground, remember I had that one laid out on its back. She went up and sniffed it.
She's like,
and she was like, okay, and I was like, you want to stop it? You stop it. She's like, okay, I won't touch it. So you just don't touch it.
She's like, but
and she was like, I want to touch it. Don't touch it, you know.
But
and she's smelling it. She opened her mouth like she was gonna pick it up. She said, no, don't pick it up. Don't you pick it up?
She's like, no, I'm not allowed.
And she's looking at me. She's okay. And so she knew
knew
I was doing something with it, and then I put it in the fucking cage, and she watched it in the cage.
Yeah, she sat there for like ages.
Yeah, it's funny.
Well, we released them back, and like then later we saw them with their mama and their other sibling up in the tree in the nest.
Yeah, they made it.
I think they've moved since then.
Yeah, they left.
Because I haven't seen them in that tree since then.
They might have been hiding in that tree temporarily.
Maybe so.
To get away from the storm.
John Gore said, if I was a pretty girl, I'd probably be bitchy, fending off guys. Yeah, I mean, I can see how it happens. Because, like, when you look really good, yeah, you're getting that kind of shit 24/7. So you probably get real sick of it. So I can see being, like, super cunty. Victor said, if I was a pretty girl, I'd be having trains run on me every weekend. I'm sure some of them are into that, too. Guamacon says, sup Tom and Jenny's, I hope y'all's week is going awesome. Gonna watch Sinners again this weekend. Movie is badass. I want to go see that this weekend. I'm kind of hoping we can. If we do, I want to review it on Monday because everybody and their mama has told me to go see that movie. Like everybody I know that's like into horror, go watch it. So I told Tom, I'm like, we might have to go see that this weekend. So we'll see. So now they're talking about Trap, the M. Night Shyamalan movie. And Victor says, Trap is fucking horrible. That's what I heard. And I just put up a review, if you haven't seen it, I just put up a review of the M. Night Shyamalan movie, The Visit, from 2015, which was actually quite good. I actually had a good time with that. But yeah, sadly, I've heard that Trap was really not good. I saw it, and I was kind of like, maybe I should watch it. But then, like, everyone's like, oh, man, it's so bad. And I was like, how bad can it be? I don't know. It could probably be pretty bad. That makes me sad, though, because when I watched that one, like I said, if you watch the video that I did where I reviewed The Visit, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, I was just kind of like, I was not expecting to like that, and actually it was really good. It was, like, really fun. So it kind of makes me sad that he kind of went downhill again. You know what I mean? They thought that, we thought he was coming back, but no.
TV says, see, Tom, that's what happens. When you're teased, your dick gets bit. Yeah, I know.
Well,
I was drunk at the time.
Yeah.
I was drunk at the time.
And like I said, you can't...
He's trying to get all sexy in front of me and shit. And I was fucking, okay, bitch, then come on. I'll fucking drop my, fucking unzip my shit like that. I'll fucking drop my shit like that. And he fucking went over there and fucking bit the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Jumped on his knees and slid. It was fast, it was fast.
Yeah, he immediately...
It was like a fucking martial arts move. He came sliding at me, towards me on his knees and shit on the dance floor. And fucking, pah! And got me. It's like, oh, like that. I'm looking at Jen. Jen's standing right next to me.
And I was like...
And then he gets up, big smile on his face. He's got this fucking toothy grin. His fucking teeth are sticking out like this. You had to be there. Fucking, it was funny.
I love Dr. Michael. He's awesome.
He's fucking hilarious.
Well, like I said...
He got me.
You can't, and I've told him this before.
Says you can't play chicken with that dude.
You can't.
No.
You can't.
There ain't no chicken.
He will do literally anything.
I kind of forgot who I was dealing with. Yeah.
Like you can be like, bitch, you won't do that. Oh, he'll do it.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll do it.
Yeah. He's pansexual.
He'll do it. He doesn't give a shit.
He don't give a fuck.
He doesn't give a shit.
He'll do this shit in public too.
Like I said, he has no fucking shame.
Nuh-uh.
He's like our age.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. And
he's an old goth guy.
That's the thing about it. Yeah. He's like an old goth dude. And like the thing about that's the best thing, and I've said this before, the best thing about getting old is you do not give a shit anymore. Like what anybody thinks.
He's
about
super
you.
Popular too. You look at him, he looks like fucking Uncle Fester. Not Uncle Fester, he looks like fucking Riff Raff from fucking
a little bit.
Kind of like, it looks like something out of a fucking Tim Burton fucking claymation movie.
He's in there with the Edgar Allan Poe shirt on.
Yeah. We're Edgar Allan Poe, or he'll have all kinds of fucking.
I think he has a Christian Death shirt.
Christian Death.
He has a Edgar Allan Poe shirt. I'm trying to remember all the shirts that he has.
He's always in a t-shirt, black t-shirt with some kind of goth band on it, black shorts.
But they're long shorts.
Yeah, long shorts down to his knee, like knee pants.
Like culottes.
Yeah, and then he'll have fucking black socks on with black fucking combat boots. And they're all worn. And the fucking combat boots aren't even laced. They're just fucking shit. Like,
yeah.
He's sloppy. Motherfucker's sloppy. And his hair is fucking crazy. It's bald on top of his head, and it's just like, he looks like Riff Raff. It's fucking funny. See if I can find a picture of him.
Yeah, I wonder if there is one. There's got to be one somewhere.
I got a picture of him.
I'm sure there's probably a picture of like him and Roxanne at the movies or something.
Yeah. I don't...
Because Roxanne goes to the movies with him all the time. Because that's who I'm always...
What's his Facebook name, you know?
It's his actual name.
Dr. Michael?
No, it's Michael Whaley.
Michael Whaley? Okay.
Which is what his real name is.
Okay.
Which I don't know if I should have just doxed him then, but, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Nobody watches this, so we know. Yeah, Guamacon said the W-H-A-L-E-Y.
Michael Whaley, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if we should...
Yeah, Guamacon said the lead girl from Part 7, Friday the 13th, Part 7, just passed away this week. Yeah, she did. I saw that. Somebody posted about it. I can't remember what her name is, but yeah.
Man, he didn't show up.
Really?
Nope.
No, he's right there.
Where?
Isn't that him right there? Oh, maybe not. I don't know. I don't see it.
There's a million Michael Whaleys.
Oh, okay. It's not a very uncommon name, I guess. I don't remember what his...
You'd think he'd be at the top.
I don't remember what his profile pic looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of remember what it looks like, but I wouldn't recognize it necessarily.
Toby would probably have him on his facelift, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we all... Well, I have him on my friends.
You have him on your friends list?
Yeah, okay, of course.
Hold on. So, I don't think he's on my friends list, actually.
No, maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, that's right. Laura Park Lincoln, that was that girl's name. That woman's name. She was in Friday the 13th, Part 7. She was in some other shit, too. Like, it was in some other horror movies, I thought. Because she's real familiar. Because I saw her picture on there, I was like, oh, shit, that girl died, yeah.
No, he's not on there.
CB said, thank fuck Tom had underwear on.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have pulled my shit off if I didn't have underwear on.
Unless you forgot.
I put my nuts out at the club before, but fucking...
Yeah, what was that? Why did you do that? I remember there was a reason, but I can't remember what the reason was.
Scott.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Scott was saying, I got off test and made my nuts fucking small. I said, no, dude, you didn't listen to me. I said, you got to take Clomid. He's like, what? And he goes, that shit is taking that test makes your nuts fucking too small. So I pull my nuts out. I said, these nuts small. And he's like, damn, your nuts are bigger than mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have weirdly big nuts, but you have like...
No.
You have
very
like,
big, you know.
You have like average big nuts. Yeah, American Military... she was in House 2. Okay. I think that's where I'm more familiar, because I've seen House 2 probably like 4 million times.
He's not on your friends list.
He is, though, because I see his shit all the time. I'm looking through your... Oh, shit. I was looking through your friends list. He should be right there. Like I said, I see him post all the time. Like every fucking day.
M. Sure. M-I. Hold on, let me see.
I don't know what you're doing wrong. I don't know. You're looking at...
Okay. Michael, it's coming.
You probably got to do more than that. You probably.
That's all the Michaels.
You got to do more than that, probably. I don't know, man. I got to pee, though. So, entertain the people.
Okay.
Don't just type.
I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm looking to see if he's in here. Okay, there's a bunch of Michaels here. Yeah. But look, it's not there, though. He's not in here. Okay. He's got to have a different name than that in terms of the way it's spelled. See, there's Michael Wesley. That ain't him though. Okay. If I can find this dude and I show him to you, you'll fucking trip. Anyway, I think she's bullshit. I know she said I need to start talking to the audience. I'm talking to the audience right now. She's coming out. I'm still looking for this dude. I didn't think he was on my friends list. He doesn't seem to be on Jen's friends list either.
What happened?
You're not on his friends list.
Yeah, I am too.
W-H-E-Y?
No, W-H-A-L-E-Y.
Let's see if this shows up. See, look.
I mean, he's on there.
No results found.
Like I said, I see him post every fucking day. So I don't know why you're not finding it.
Good.
I don't know why you're not finding it. Victor says he blocked you, Tom.
No, I never had him on. I never had it.
He's on mine, though, because like I said...
He never talks to me on there.
I see him post every single day. So...
Maybe I got the front... Is that the right way to spell his first name?
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
It's not there.
But like I said, I see his posts all the time. Or every day that I'm on there. I don't go on Facebook every day, but...
What's he talking about?
I don't know, just shit.
Bullshit.
So...
What are they saying in there?
Oh, they're talking about that woman that was in Friday the 13th 7 that died this week.
I don't know that one.
Hugo says Stephen King's The Monkey was good. Yeah, I still kind of want to see that, but I don't think that's not in the theater anymore, probably. So I'll probably have to wait for streaming. I do want to see Sinners though. We might have to go this weekend and see that. Kason Lee is here. says hello.
Jay, what's up? What's up, Casey?
Well, hello there says Tom blinked twice if Jen is holding you hostage. Why would I be holding you hostage? That sounds like too much work. Yeah, Lar Park Lincoln, the woman from Friday 37, was 63 years old. She sadly passed away from breast cancer. Yeah, I knew she... Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, she can't be that old, right? Yeah, 63. That's not that old. To die from breast cancer. That sucks. Fulman on Osferati says, BVDs, yeah. Remember those? Did they make that anymore?
The what?
BVDs.
What's that?
It's a kind of underwear. Like tighty whities.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, what did that even stand for? I don't even remember.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's a thing. That's from our era. Yeah. So you must have been somewhere else when that was going on.
Probably in Brazil.
But it was like a brand or something. But I don't remember what those... I don't remember what those letters stood for. I'm sure someone will remind me. But I just remember the fucking commercials, you know. Something about your BVDs. Yeah, I mean, Tom will drop his pants at, like, pretty much any provocation, so...
No.
Now, everybody, Tammy's not here to, like, give you money to make you take your pants off.
Tammy? Oh, yeah. No, it's going to take Tammy.
Yeah, because she was the one that, that was wanting to raise money to...
Yeah,
for a pegging video?
Yeah, to see me get fucking pegged in the booty. That's how these fucking perverted ass women are. She's not even here right now.
But that's who I thought of, though.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm looking through even just the random Michael Whaleys, and no, he's not.
Maybe
here.
he did block you. I don't know why he would.
No, he didn't block me.
But like I said, he's for sure on my friends list because, like I said, I see shit he posts like all the time. Yeah. So I don't know what to tell you.
I never fucking post on fucking Facebook.
The only thing I ever post on my personal page is when I do videos. Like if I do like a book review or a movie review, that's the only thing I ever post on there. Every now and then I'll post cat shit, but that's about it. Like not actual cat shit, but like stuff about cats. You know what I mean? Let's see.
Unless he blocked me from fucking decades ago and didn't realize it.
I mean, that could have happened.
Fuck that bitch. No, but I talked to him.
Yeah, we talk to him every week.
Yeah, I talked to him over fucking...
Facebook
I talked to him over fucking Messenger.
Okay.
So,
maybe I don't know, maybe some glitch or something.
Yeah.
Because like I said, he's totally on my friends list because I see shitty.
I don't know why. For some reason, I can't find it. Maybe he's not on there right now. Maybe he's taking a break.
Although I'm pretty sure I just saw shit he posted today.
Well, where's your phone then?
Over there. I don't think I have Messenger on my phone though.
No, just go. You got Facebook on your phone though, don't you?
I think. I don't. Man, don't make me go fucking through all this rigmarole. I don't even know where.
You don't access Facebook from your phone?
No, never.
I see it right there.
I know, but I don't use it on here.
It's easy.
And I can't. I can barely see.
Let me see.
You know, I can barely see. I can't believe you're making me do this.
Hit this.
I can't believe you're making me do this. Why?
No, not that.
Well, you hit it, not me.
Here. Jen's not good at internet.
Well, I can't see.
Yeah.
I can't see it. It's just all a blur. You know, and I don't really like doing that kind of shit when I'm live streaming because it's boring. Nobody wants to watch somebody looking at their phone when they're fucking live streaming.
We talk then.
You know? And we're talking about Alice Cooper. Yeah, he's alright. I missed, like, a bunch of stuff. Oh, Zach says, any opinions of Chris Angel? That was a long time ago.
Yeah, Chris Angel is mostly bullshit.
Well, I mean, he's a magician, so it is all bullshit. But
there he is right
I don't know. Like, I seem like... He seems a little douchey. But I don't, you know, I don't mind some of the shit that he does.
There he is. That bitch right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Full Metal Nosferatu says, I met both Alice Cooper and Marilyn Manson. Manson was kind of shy-ish. Cooper, on the other hand, was cool as fuck. He autographed a cassette single, and he started a conversation how Steven Tyler sang backup. So yeah, they're talking about...
Yeah, it's funny. He doesn't have many pictures of himself.
Nah.
No. Just his fucking...
Yeah, so I told you.
Pitch.
I don't know why.
Just his profile pic. And that's kind of old, that profile pic.
It is, yeah. Victor says Tom Ross starring in Begging for a Peggin'.
Oh, man, fuck you, bitch.
You know what? I would be shocked if there was not already a video called that.
Begging for a Peggin'? Oh yeah, I'm sure it's out there. Sure it's out there.
Zach says plenty of people watch people on their phone while streaming. I know, but it's like I don't want to do that. How boring is that? Like watching other people look at their phones. Jesus Christ.
I'll tell you what, this is here, give me a drink.
Yeah.
Help me with some of this.
All
this is
right.
gonna be our last drink right here.
I'll help you.
Our last one. It's getting late. Nobody's buying us a drink.
It's not that late.
Yeah.
It's only 10:30.
Yeah, I got other shit I want to do, man.
Full Metal Nosferatu says BVD, Bradley, Voorhees, and Day. Just Googled it. Okay, see, I don't think I ever knew what it stood for. I just remembered the commercials. You know, where will you be seen in your BVDs? Or whatever the fuck the commercial was. So it became kind of a thing for a minute. Like talking about everybody's underwear is like BVDs. But I don't think I ever looked up what it stood for. So I thought it was going to stand for something more interesting than just like 3 motherfuckers' names. Oh well. Victor says if you found him on Jenny's Facebook, then you are blocked. I mean, he might be. I'm not really sure. I don't know why, but you know what I don't know why. But yeah. Like I said, I'm like, I don't know why you can't find it. I don't know why you can't find it. Oh, underoos. Man, I remember those. I had Wonder Woman underoos when I was little. I had Wonder Woman ones, and my little brother had Batman ones. Kids today, they don't know anything about underoos. Fucking underoos. That was a good idea, though. That would probably still fly. Do they still do that? Or, I don't, I'm sure they don't have underoos anymore, but I'm sure they probably have something equivalent, right? Because of how big superheroes have got in the interim. So I kind of feel like that would be dumb, like, not to do that. Zach says, by the way, you talking about long hair being annoying earlier, Jen, ever just do a pixie cut? I have many times. But every time, this is what happens. Every single time, like, my hair will get kind of long. They'll be like, man, this is so fucking annoying, and it's so hot, and I'm just going to cut it off. And then every time I do that, I like it for about a day, and then the day after, I'm like, why the fuck did I do that? Now my head looks like a big fucking bowling ball. I hate it. So it's just kind of like, unfortunately, because I have such a round face, I don't look really good. Like, a long pixie cut is okay, like if it's down to like here. But if it's like a classic pixie cut, like right at the jawline, yeah, I can't do that. It's really not flattering. You know what I mean? Florence says, first time I ever heard the term underoos was from a quote from Iron Man to Spider-Man in the Captain America Civil War movie. Wow, that makes me feel really, really old. But no, did you ever have any underoos, Tom?
No.
You didn't have underoos?
No. Victor's going, if you found him on Jenny's fucking thing, then that means you're blocked. He might have. But the thing is that might have been years and years ago. It might have been years. I don't know. Because we've had drama over the past. I think. It's hard to say, because club drama. But no, that bitch forgot that he forgot to unblock him. That bitch forgot to unblock me. I'm gonna fucking take that shit up with him.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna take that shit up with him. We don't talk on Facebook anyway.
No, I don't really talk.
No, yeah, Facebook is like, that's kind of like some shit that your mom does.
Yeah, that's like old people shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still on it.
Yeah.
But I don't really go on it all that much. Like I said, the only time I go on it is like to post videos that I also post on Instagram and like other places. So You know what I mean?
You gotta understand, man. We've been around for fucking 20 years or what? 20 years. Fucking with these people.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. I fucking talked to him a couple years back, though. But I think I might have fucking gotten hold of him through your shit, though.
Yeah, maybe. Because we ask him vet questions.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're on good terms. Fuck around all the time.
Yeah, weird. That's why I thought it was weird that you couldn't find him.
He might be that I'm misspelling it.
Could be. It didn't look like it, but, I can't really see that good either.
This tooth is going to come out. It's got to...
Man, that's the second one.
Yeah, all my teeth are falling
out
your
the back. Teeth are falling out.
Yeah, that was because I fucking damaged them, though.
Yeah.
Biting shit. I was biting down on those fucking cinnamon sticks for years, feeding them horses.
For the horses?
Yeah. Busting them in half, fucking getting to... That's what did it. I felt one of them crack one time.
I cracked mine on, a clove. Yeah. Not a clove cigarette, an actual clove. Like, that was in a dish.
Yeah.
And it cracked my tooth in the back. And then there was a big crack in it, and then, like, half of it fell out, and then, like, half of it was still there for, like, a really long time. And it was really sharp.
I may have blocked that bitch.
Oh, maybe.
I think I blocked that bitch. I forgot about it. Yeah. It doesn't matter, man.
No,
it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, I think I blocked that bitch.
Kason Lee says, do you guys use Chat GPT much? I use it.
No.
I use it for, I usually use it to just write the summary for whatever the show is about, like just to put in the YouTube description box. I don't always, but sometimes I do if I'm in a hurry. I use it to generate like headline ideas for like ads I'm doing. So I do it for that. Or story ideas sometimes if I need that. Like I ask it to generate stories about this and that and the other, or like ideas about it. So I use it for that, but that's about the only thing. American Military said, I liked Lara Park Lincoln, but Amy Steele is my favorite Friday Final girl. I mean, I kind of feel like Amy Steele is everyone's favorite Final Friday girl. And she was also in April Fool's Day, which is a really good, underrated slasher, kinda. I call it kinda because, well, it's from 1986, but if you haven't seen it, I don't really want to spoil it, but you know what I mean? It's kind of like a slasher. DVD Dragon says steroids don't give you teeth gains.
No. No, they should, though.
Yeah, you would like that if your teeth were.
If your teeth could grow back.
Your teeth were also muscular.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Your teeth had little.
You're probably more likely to break them.
Your teeth had little muscles.
You'd probably be more likely to break them because you can bite harder. Your bite force goes up. You're fucking enough to shatter your teeth. You can break your own fingers. That's how fucking strong you can get.
This motherfucker has broken 2 shower knobs.
3
shower knobs.
Yeah.
3 shower knobs. Excuse me.
Just turning the knob too fast to break the shower knob.
Yeah.
Well, I went through Grok 3. Fucking Grok 3. The new Grok 3 fucking remembers all your fucking conversations in the past. So it knows all my physical statistics. And I can just go in there and just ask it, fucking how strong am I versus this and that, or fucking what's this and that. I'm 2.5 or 3 times stronger than the average human the average man on the global scale. I'm also about 1.5 times faster because I have more fast twitch muscle fibers. So when I'm unconscious and just fucking in a hurry, I'll just turn the shower knob, I'll snap it off. But it's plastic. I need a metal one.
Yeah, because he just did that, and then he bought another one.
Yeah, it's a third
and then
one.
2 days ago, he's like, I broke it again.
Yeah, I broke it again. It lasted a few months.
Yeah.
And it's just because I don't realize what I'm doing. I accidentally broke my friend's ribs too. Fucking, I didn't realize I did that to her. Fucking, but I just gave her a hug and broke her ribs.
Yeah.
Fucking.
We didn't find out about it until later.
Yeah, later. She says, "You broke my ribs." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, she didn't say anything about it at the time. I guess maybe she didn't know at the time.
She didn't know at the time. And I says, "No." She says, "No, you broke my ribs." Fucking you. I said, "I didn't mean to." Her husband was pissed.
Yeah. Well.
And
I understand that.
Yeah. I didn't know. But no, if I just fucking grab that knob and just turn it like that, turn it too fast, I'll fucking snap it. It's on a fucking key in there, and it breaks. So I gotta get a metal one. I can't have a normal plastic knob. It doesn't seem to do it on the. It's the same knob that's on the faucet from the sink, but I don't seem to break that one. I break the one on the shower all the time. I think because I'm in a hurry.
Well, what are you hurrying for?
I don't know. Just come on, I gotta get this shit done and just turn the shower on. It snaps.
You don't gotta get.
But from my point of view, I'm not putting any power on it.
Right, but you should probably just be more mindful of not doing that. Like, because you don't have to rush. You know what I mean? Just go slower.
Yeah.
Maybe you wouldn't break them all the time.
I'm 5 times stronger than the average woman. Ain't that some shit? 5 times.
So if you wanted to...
No, it's just weird.
You could make me do stuff I didn't want to do.
I bench press 320 pounds. The average man does... They said the average man on a global level is only fucking 130 pounds. Is what they bench press. So almost 3 times. A woman, I think the average, they said it was 60. What do you do?
I don't know.
40, 50, 60. You do 65.
Yeah.
Yeah, 65. You could probably do more though.
Probably.
So you're
and
above
legs
average.
I can do a lot more.
What's that?
Legs I can do a lot more.
Yeah, you got a little more. Right.
American Military said, "Did you ever do a movie review of April Fool's Day?" I thought we did. I don't know if we did one together or if I just did one. Because I remember writing a long thing about it. But I don't remember if I did a video of it or if we both did a video of it. Because I love that movie. I've seen it like 1,000,000 times. 1,000,000 times. Florence says, "I use ChatGPT a lot for prepping my D&D campaign." Yeah, see, it's good for that kind of shit. It's like, of course, I have to edit everything myself so it doesn't sound robotic, but it's all right for coming up with ideas. Yeah, that's kind of what I use it for. I just kind of use it for, like, coming up with... Like, other day, like, for work, I had this company. It was, like, a coffee company. And they wanted a couple different campaigns. And they had a particular... demographic that they were targeting and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, so I kind of used that to, it's like, well, what would you suggest? And like some of the shit they came up with, I was like, nah, that's dumb. But some of the stuff they came up with was okay. And I ended up like kind of using a couple of them for that. But like, you know, if you try, because like I said, I used to have a thing called pseudo-write, and they don't spell it like Pseudo like you would normally spell it. They spelled it Sudo because I guess they thought nobody would know how to spell it the right way. So so I had that for a little while, and technically they were like, it's like a novel writing AI assistant. So I was kind of curious what it would come up with if you just kind of gave it some prompts, and it did okay at first. Like, the first couple chapters, I'm like, this isn't bad. It's like, it's not, you know, great literature or anything like that, but it's like, it's about, like, a standard thriller type of thing. But then, after a while, I noticed that if you didn't, like, really, like, put some fences on it, it kept repeating essentially the same scene over and over again, just in different locations. Like, it had a tendency to do that. So it didn't really, like, when the middle part came, it tended to get, like, a little bit baggy. Like, it didn't really know where it was going.
Somebody named Bridget just came in and says, "Oh my God, I figured out how to comment live." Where the fuck you been?
Oh my God, I'm glad you finally figured that out.
American Military 100 says that girl that accused Prince Andrew on the Child Island, man, that they found her dead. Yeah, what was her name?
I don't remember.
Dead. Yeah, well, that's because a bunch of shit's going to come out on that. So their assassins are killing people. A bunch of shit's going to... they're going to release all that fucking FBI data, and they have all those fucking, they have all the video evidence. All kinds of rich dudes. They got dirt on. Here's the thing: if they got dirt on all these rich, powerful dudes, it'd be more in the interest of the regime that you have now, not to tell, to use that dirt against them to control them on remote control, which that's what it was for anyway. So I don't think we're ever going to get that shit. It's too valuable. What they'll do is they'll just say, "Okay, we got you, bitch. You're going to go out in public and you're going to say this, this, and that, or we're going to release those videos. And we're going to fucking charge you. And we're going to fucking, we got everything." So that's probably what they'll do. It'll probably never get released. But they're all real good with the Mexican mob. So they use Mexican cartel narco agents to fucking kill people who are fully trained. And they're not the dudes, the MS-13 guys with tattoos. No. They're dudes who are ex-Mexican army and ex-cops that work for the narco fucking armies. And they contract out for political parties anywhere. Anybody who will hire them, they'll work. And so if you're rich and powerful and somebody's got dirt on you, you hire those dudes to kill. And, you'll hire 4 or 5 of them and they'll grab a hold of you and put your head in a noose and fucking hang you. And they'll scribble out a fucking suicide note and they'll go, yeah, that person killed themselves. They're good, man. They're not. When people think of criminals, they think of these ramshackle bumfucks that you see on these videos. These dudes all have military and law enforcement training. That's where they come from. They come from the police and the army. And then some of them are private investigators on top of that. And CIA and other intelligence agencies, they don't use their own people because it's too dangerous. They hire those guys as contractors to do it. And if they get caught, they're totally deniable. They go, "We don't know that dude. He's a criminal." And that's how they protect themselves. And that's how they make all the money. And I'm not making this shit up. I had a friend that did it. He's in prison for it right now. He trained a lot of them guys. His name was Timothy Van Vacchius. They're gonna make a movie about that bitch. We were in the army together. I got him in my yearbook, pictures of me and him hanging out together. He ran one of the most extensive fucking Central and South American death squads ever. They must have killed hundreds of people. And they did it by dressing up as cops. They were hired to do it by those companies, by those countries. They'd come up and arrest you, and then you'd vanish. And they'd say, "Well, the cops got it." And the cops would go, "We don't," because it wasn't the cops. It was a fucking death squad. Take you out to a remote location where there's a hole dug already, and they go, "Oh, by the way, you're not being under arrest. You're dead." And they'd fucking pow, drop him down in the hole, cover him up. And they fucking trained the fucking narco armies to do shit. Big business. And they're all dirty. They're all involved in it. Just look up Timothy Van Vacchius. That's a friend of mine.
CB says, "Tom, I benched 500 pounds when I was 18 and went to hospital for a week after doing it."
I don't know if I believe it. 500 pounds. Come on, bro. No.
Like with your arms?
Yeah, 500. Sure. How long were you training to reach 500?
I don't know.
How much gear did you do? You'd have to be a fucking roid head to do 500.
I mean, if you just did one.
Yeah, and at 18, most 18-year-olds are too weak. Even a fucking good 18-year-old, he has a hard time reaching 300 pounds. Especially naturally. You just don't have enough time. You don't have enough time to grow that size. Unless you're a big dude, 6'5" and fucking a lot of muscle on you and a lot of hard labor, maybe you could do it. But it's very rare to fucking to find a high school guy, high school senior that could do 300. Some can, but most of them can't.
American Military says, "Random true crime question.
Yeah.
Do you think JonBenet Ramsey's mom was her murderer?"
No, I think her brother was.
I kind of lean toward that too.
Yeah.
And maybe they're covering it up, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I fall on
I
that.
think her brother killed her.
But that does seem like the most likely scenario, but like I said, I don't really...
The parents defended the brother. They didn't want to lose both kids.
Which, I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It could be. Like, man, what was that shit we were watching the other day that was like... I've been getting into... There's a show. It's on... I guess it's on HBO Max. I don't know what channel it was on to start with. But, called The Perfect Murder, and I've been watching those. they're true crime, but they're not quite as depressing as some of the other ones that I watch, because they're kind of more structured, and the way they do it, I'm not sure if I like this or not, because it's kind of a little bit not deceptive, but like I said, it's a structure. What they'll do is they'll lay out this crime that really happened, and then they'll have, it's like, well, it could have been this way, you know? What?
You want any of that?
Yeah.
Take it.
Okay. You don't want any of it?
Take half of it.
Okay. All right. It's like, well, it could have been this way, and then they, like, kind of do a reenactment of, like, the theory. But it's like, you know that that's not really happened because they're doing the theory. And so they'll do that, like, a couple of times, and then at the end, they're like, no, really, this is really what happened. So, I don't know. I kind of like it, and I kind of don't. But, man, we saw one the other day, and now I can't remember, like, all the details of it, but it was fucking crazy. Like, some of the stories on here are fucking crazy. And I can't believe that I haven't heard of more of them. A lot of them turn out to be, you know, as you would expect. Like, they'll think, like, some woman turns up dead or something, and they're like, well, initially they suspect the husband, as they always do, because, you know, 95% of the time that's who it is. But they're like, well, no, it wasn't him. Like, he had an alibi or blah, blah, blah. But then they thought, well, here's this other weird scenario, and here's this other weird scenario, and it wasn't that. But then it turned out, it's like, oh, well, the husband was doing this, and he hired some, like, fucking random-ass person. It was just, like, some kind of crazy-ass fucking situation. But it's, like, a good... I don't know. It's a good show. I don't know if I'd necessarily call it the perfect murder, because a lot of them are, like, not... They just call them that, I guess, because they don't solve them right away. Because, like... But... when it, like, in hindsight, when you watch them, you're just kind of like, yeah, but I mean, that was pretty obvious from the get-go. It's just like you couldn't prove it, so they had to just set it up like, well, it could have been this or it could have been that, or you know what I mean? Like, they're trying to make it seem like it was more mysterious than it was, but that's the only thing. But it's a good show otherwise. I still need to do, you know, I did my Faceless Villain series. I have a 4th book. I wrote 2000 the whole year. Yeah. It's done. Huh. All I have to do, I have to go back through it and make sure there aren't any mistakes. And I have to format the print version and do the cover and everything. But other than that, like, it's done. It's written. So I'm hoping to I thought I was going to get to work on it today, but I had a whole bunch of work piled on my head, so I didn't have time to do it. But I don't know. Maybe this weekend I'll have time to do it. But I mean, it's going to take a while to format it. I have to format the ebook too, but the ebook is mostly formatted. I just have to like change, like fix the links and stuff. But the print book is harder to do because I don't know. That takes a longer time, and you have to design the cover and everything. But I was just like excited that I got that fucking done. Because like I said, my old Faceless Villain books, I did them like in... The first one I did was like 50 years, because it was 1900 to 1950. Because there's not as much information about like older murders, so there weren't as many. And then the second one was 20 years, and then the next one was also 20 years or 30 years, or 25 years or whatever it was. And then I was going to do another book, a 4th volume, that was another 20 years, like from 2000 to 2020. But then I realized that I wrote the first year, 2000, and it was kind of long enough to be a book on its own. And I was like, man, if I do 20 years, this book is going to be like the fucking dictionary. So maybe I should just do each year as its own thing. You know what I mean? Then it won't take as long. So the 2000 one, like I said, it's all written. I just have to go through it and like do all that stuff. So I'm hoping to get it out in the next month or two. Whenever I have time, I have to work on it, you know what I mean? And let's see. Muscle relaxant. DVD Dragon says I can lift 5 donuts with my dick. Wonder how many donuts you can put on your dick, Tom?
Probably about 5. No.
I'm trying to.
It might be, maybe 5 or 6 donuts. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, what
depends on how thick that donut is. I might get 7 of them on it.
Oh my my god.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all can see pictures of it. Fucking, we got videos of it. You tell me how many you fit on there.
How many donuts?
What kind of donuts you gonna put on there? You know.
Yeah, like what kind of donuts are we talking
if you're talking about me sticking that shit through a fucking Boston cream, that bitch is pretty thick.
Yeah, that's gonna be kind of messy.
Yeah. But you, I'm hungry.
Okay. American Military says, Jenny is a true crime author and researcher. Which case has had the most visceral impact on you? Ooh, that's a good one. Man, I might have to get back to you on that because I don't know if I can think of... I tend to be really upset by the cases that are just... I don't know. For some reason, I don't know why this one occurred to me. And I don't even remember what year it was. But there was a girl, she was a student at a college. And it was old, it was maybe 60s, maybe earlier. Betsy Ardsma. And she was just in the library at the college, minding her own fucking business. And this dude just came in and stabbed her right in the fucking heart. And she just like died in there. And it's like, for some reason, that always just like really freaked me. It's just because it was so fucking random. Yeah. So shit like that, you know what I mean? That's always going to freak me out more because it's just like there's no reason for it. Like you're just doing regular ass shit like in the middle of the fucking day. And suddenly, you know, you got stabbed in the heart and you're dead. But yeah, they call it, I think they call it the murder in the stacks or something like that. It's like, I don't know if it's famous, but it's kind of well known. I don't remember what year it was from, but it's older. It was like, I think it was from the 60s, maybe 50s. Full Metal Nosferatu says, we started watching a show called Fatal Family Feuds. Ooh, that sounds good. Pretty disturbing shit people do to their own family members. Yeah, there's another show that's called Evil Lives Here. And I've watched a few of those. And that's usually to do with people whose family members did some shit. And that one's kind of, it's good, but it's like, that one's kind of depressing. You know what I mean? Yeah. I kind of feel like the Perfect Murder one, that's also kind of depressing because it's crime. But they have it set up more like in an entertainment-y kind of framework. Whereas Evil Lives Here is just kind of like, it's usually centered around one relative. Like it's, you know, my brother's a serial killer or something like that. And it's like a lot of interviews with them, and it's like usually kind of a bummer. You know what I mean? All right, so Tom seems like he's getting fussy.
Yeah, I'm starting to get tired. I'm getting hungry too.
He's getting fuzzy. All right, so we are going to wrap it up for this evening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed hanging out with us tonight. It seemed like it went really fast. I don't know why. But yeah, so have a good weekend, everybody. We will be back on Monday. Like I said, I want to go see Sinners this weekend, so we might do that for the Monday review. But if we don't, you know, obviously we'll think of something else to watch and review on Monday. But yeah, so have a good weekend, everybody. We will see you guys again on Monday night for the movie review. Good night.